Hello everybody, what is up? We're here today with some Radio FM, Glass Half Dead, smooth jazz playing in the background. In case you're wondering, it is Helldivers 2 theme music playing as a smooth jazz cover. I'm also mic'd up with the good mic today. I say good mic. It's just better than my my lapel mic because I'm not walking around, so I can do that. Let me know if you can hear everything okay. Obviously, what is up? Obviously, if you're in chat, holler back. Be a holler back girl, please. Thank you. I hate the things that I say sometimes. Just to be clear. We've got Kaz, hello. We've got Eddie, good to see you, my man. Good to see you, my man. Roadkill has joined us. Thank you, Kiwi Commander. Yeah, how is the jazz sounding to you? Can you hear it okay? Is it overpowering? Is it too soft? Do let me know. Kaz, you got some hobby going on. Love to see it, because I don't want to do it. So I like to imagine that in the world, there's only a certain amount of hobby that can be done. You know, like we all share one hobby cap. So I'm glad that other people do it, because it kind of logically takes the pressure off me to have to do my own. So, yeah. Lovely. Although, again, I do have many. I have 3 colors that I use, just to be clear. They are bone color, these bad boys right here, and then blue and yellow. Those are my colors. Now, you know, oh, and red, sorry. If I show you my Guilliman here, right? Let me tell you why I like bone color so much, okay? Because this is this obviously I haven't done the gilding and such. That's not the word I mean, but this is a cool dude, right? And you could tell his bone armor is done. It took all of about 5 seconds. Seraphim sepia, heavy AF dry brush, as foretold, of Wraithboat. You could get more into it. But no need. Under my hobby regime, of course. And oh, I've lost it. And the thing is, he is 90% done. However, what I've actually done here, and what I don't perhaps give enough credit to when I talk about doing my bone armor, is this is just slap chop. This could be grey. This could be black and grey. I've just done it with different colours. That's all this is. Except because it's bone, it's an actual thing that people don't know how to do sometimes. And the reason I really like that is because it means that if I decide I want to completely change an army, I don't have to redo them. I can just paint over their bone armor. That is the true beauty of bone armor. Anyway, back to the chat. Sorry. Painted by JHD, my favorite song. Glad to hear Kaz confirms you can hear that sweet, smooth jazz. Toonda, hi there. We hear you. Glad to hear it. Thank you, Toon. I've heard Helldivers is a great game. You know what? I'm really sad, but Helldivers 2 released just about the same time that me and my homies from school, primary school, finally stopped playing computer games together. So I played it once on my own. That was it. Real shame. The lads dropped off. Brian, good to see you, my man. A circle holler to you indeed. In fact, I would argue that if you're watching this at this point in the channel, it would probably be about the time to give you all a big. I pressed the button, it didn't work. Hold on. Double hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bounds in the world of Glass Half Dead. What is a double hello? A double hello is a pleasantry given to you twice. Why? I don't know. It's better than once. It's just right. Glad to hear it. Thank you. Durin Bjornsson. Okay, but why are you so handsome? It's the only reason I really hung around your KT channel, not others. I often ask myself, do I suffer from pretty privilege? Yeah, I do ask myself that on a regular basis, quite to be honest with you. I do. I think that's the actual answer. Yeah, it's a struggle. You know, we all have our struggles, our crosses to bear, so to speak. In a sense, we are all the Sanctifier kill team and have those crosses to bear. Miko, hello all. You will serve as my background music for accounting homework. I apologize. I'm so sorry for your life. Instead of hobby time today. That's a shame. Digging the shirt, thank you. This shirt, of course, is a Deathcore Creed Commissar shirt. Sometimes I need to deliver the Emperor's justice, and what else would I be wearing, obviously? A lot of bones on your Zangors. That makes sense. They do have a lot of bone. For the record, you're my favourite KG. Well, I am the only Kill Team channel on YouTube, so that does make sense. Hello, Major Tom. Greetings and salutations to yourself. How's it going? What kind of cakes are we discussing? If I'm honest, I make a pretty mean cheesecake. It's also very diabetic friendly. So that's kind of my main shebang. If I'm willing to stab myself with a needle, I will go for a scone. But actually, if I must confess, I love a cinnamon bun. Just a bog standard cinnamon bun from like Costa or Starbucks. You know, woo. The things I would do to a cinnamon bun, you know. My gosh. I'm planning to slap chop the statue in the UKT box, so we're excited for Gormug. Hell yeah. Nice, glad to hear it, my man. Did you start a bit earlier today? Am I early? No, I'm on time. I'm good. Just started. Literally on time. Unless I was like 1 minute early by accident. That might have happened. A double hello is the best way to start the week. Very true. We need a jazz version of the double hello. Ooh, I have zero musical talent, so I'm afraid I can't provide that for you. But good idea. The wholesomeness is truly flowing this evening. That it is, Eddie. That it is. Hopefully, because I'm not stood up, I naturally have less energy. That is actually why I tend to stand up when I record, when possible. It just naturally elevates the energy levels. But hopefully the smooth jazz combined with the slightly crispier mic and the sitting down lower speed energy is a little bit not putting people to sleep. Never played HD myself, Helldivers, and I feel like it's too late to start. I actually agree with you, yeah. I have no doubt that if I were to play it now, I would find it amazing, because I didn't play it for the last 2 years or however long it's out. But I'm not going to, because I missed the boat, you know? The Emperor has blessed us. I can't believe I got to witness a live... Well, MR... You know, the Emperor graces us all in different ways. Durin, thank you for your work and channel content. It really helped me and my local game buddies to wrap our heads around the rules. We got the Hive Storm and the rules are so messed up and all over. It's a real shame to hear. It's a real shame to hear. But you know, thank you for thanking me. And but it's a real shame that you know what? Are you guys wargamers in general, or is this kind of your first dipping of toes into the wargame scene? Genuinely very curious. Let me know. Thanks. Evil Bear Skirmish, good to see you, my man. Evening, fellow diabetic. Diabolic. Hello, my fellow Diabolic. Thank you. Megacat 3000, good to see you, my man. Hello to you too. Clocks went forward in the UK. They did. That is, yes. Luckily. Yeah, whenever the clocks went forwards or backwards, back in the day, it was an event, you know. Now, just my phone changes. Nobody even had to remind me that it was happening. Just my phone gave me a heads up, you know. Do I like a glaze? I only would accept a glazed cinnamon bun, just to be clear. We all like to glaze things, obviously, and a cinnamon bun is one that must be glazed. I have had a non-glazed cinnamon bun from like a slightly more artisanal shop. I liked it less. I want it covered in liquid sugar, with a mild cinnamon and a dough taste. Sainsbury's do amazing cinnamon buns. They're iced and in the fridge, but at the bakery. Okay. So the thing for that sort of thing is, really, I like to splurge out, you know. I like to glaze it a bit, if you will, when it comes to that sort of thing, because I have them so irregularly that, yeah. But when it comes to carbs, I go all out now, because I don't do it often. They robbed us of a valuable hour. That they did. Play D&D and they got into KT. Oh. that kind of makes sense. You know, because D&D is, let's be honest, a slightly more approachable hobby for the more creative among us. The Emperor blessed me with the knowledge you aren't American, so I'm able to catch your streams without destroying my sleep schedule. Yes, I am not American. I would have hoped that you could have grasped that from the accent, but I am not. That is true. Currently leading my Lisbon in the Total War Warhammer 3. Just lost an army to Kairos Fate Weaver, and now I'm out for revenge. I never got into Total War Warhammer. I played it a bunch, to be clear, but I never really grasped the campaign. I just kind of liked making skirmishes. But then I was also not good at skirmishes, but that was definitely the part of the game that appealed to me most. Never really got a good grasp of the overworld. Oh, the clock going for... I'm with you. I'm with you. I get it now. Yes. So in that case, I went forward. I went early an hour. I went live an hour early. Kiwi Commander. I didn't know the UK has daylight saving times. I thought we US... No, we are equally dumb, unfortunately. Yes, we all like to do that. Infinity. Nice. Give him some Arsenal MZ fee for a change of pace, but skirmish game being attended by Blackout. I've heard a lot about Blackout, but never actually dived in to see how it plays. But I will... I have such a weird relationship with games other than GW games, honestly. I'm so back and forth. Like, I've got my War Machine up here. They're sending me, I'm fingers crossed it's here soon, the new Grave Diggers. So I'm really hyped for that. Love them. I'm such a Gravedigger fanboy. So hyped to get them. I don't know what content I'm going to do for it. It's probably going to be hobby and like reels and crap. But just so that I can say I've done some content for it. I was thinking of using them as MPOs in Kill Team. But yeah, I have a real up and down relationship with games other than GW because I always... Let's not talk about that. I'm never going to catch up with chat if I have a rant about that. Kill Team is my first war game. I am planning to get into 40k at some point, but I am happy with my 9 kill teams. Already way too much grey though. Yeah, I feel you there, my man. Man, I don't like painting at all. If I could avoid it, I definitely would. I definitely would. But I also refuse to pay commission painters to paint for me. I'm sorry, that sounds like I'm taking a moral stance against commission painting. Not at all. They do amazing work, obviously. I just can't afford them. Slight difference. Lifetime 40k fanboy, but discovered KT only a few months back, and I've been hooked ever since. 6 teams collected so far. Loved to hear it. Loved to hear it. 40k is a game. I'm going to be brutally honest. It is a game. During we're gamers in general, playing 40k Necron, AOS, the old world, but the books in Hivestorm, including core book, have... Oh, interesting. Interesting. So, if you had said that it's kind of your first foray into wargaming, I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, you know what? Learning any wargame, a challenge, like for the first time. I know people that are fully competent, like, to live life, and they have encountered Kill Team and just said, you know what? I'm good with the light rules. I don't want to go further. And they're scared of going further. But it's quite a shame to hear a group of seasoned vets struggled with Hivestorm, actually. I have no doubt that, you know, I think one of the most valuable things GW designers could probably get is a group of gamers, so their target audience, their demo, coming along and like just film you and your group reading and figuring out the rules for the first time. I would like to imagine there's somebody in GW that just jerks it to that 24/7, because that's like some of the best feedback they could ever get, you know. And then like deliberately build your next book kind of thinking about that, you know. But anyway, they didn't, and you didn't film it, so there you go. Why don't they just change? Yeah, I don't really understand. It's something to do with farmers. I don't get it. As a non-native English speaker, I can be horrible. Yes, so that's totally fair. I think that I have a very clear non-American accent. But it's true that if you're not American or British, I think I just sound English, as in a native speaker and could be from anywhere. So that's a very fair point. Trench Crusade, again, love-hate relationship. I don't like Grimdark. There you go. And most of what I see, some of what I see from Trench Crusade is really cool. Like, I generally, hence why I like the Gravediggers and Signar from War Machine. I generally am, you know, that age of male where World War 1 and 2 are interesting to me. And so the idea that we could then add fantasy to that interesting historical period, I'm in. You know, you've already sold me. But then Trench Crusade just kind of, I don't know, it goes in a direction I don't like with it. Again, if I want my World War 1, 2 boots filled, plus fantasy and magic, I would go War Machine. I don't like body horror. So there's actually only a few pieces of artwork from Trench Crusade that I think are really cool. Most of it is a bit like, nah, I've seen it. You know, I've been around Warhammer literally my entire life. So I've seen it, you know. It's insane that the cause doesn't include the... That is a weird one. I agree. I think somebody pointed out that that probably implies that when we get the next approved ops in September or whatever, we might get all new equipment too, which would be mad, to be honest. I'm the opposite. The campaign map is my favourite part of the Total War games. That's fair. Trench Crusade world map came out so bad. I saw that. That was a cool looking map. I can't lie. That was a cool map. I agree. Do an unboxing or something like that. They always seem... I don't understand why people like unboxings, if I'm honest. I agree. People love them. The problem with unboxing War Machine stuff is that it's all 3D printed, so it's all just kind of one piece. So it's just, here's some models. So, oh. So, yeah. Alright. Moving on. Yeah, so I don't quite know what to do there. Maybe I can get my girlfriend into painting. I'm trying. She resists. No, that's not fair. She, what does she do? I forced her, at gunpoint, obviously, to paint some models of her choice. She chose Sylvaneth Kurnoth Hunters. She did a good job. But, yeah, it's a struggle. In fairness, you know, as my patrons know, when she was over here last, she played a game of Kill Team and she rolled a bunch of 6s. So she was happy about that. You know, she found that very amusing when she rolled 6s and I rolled 1s. That was a delight to her. So we're getting there. I just got to keep giving her the cocked dice and then me the cocked in the opposite way dice. And then I assume you can imagine what I'm going to say for the third bit, considering I've said the word cocked twice. But I didn't say it a third time, so fill in the blank. Yeah, just do like that one YouTuber and put your girl... Yes. I'm not going to lie. I have been very tempted to do that. In fairness, I actually have rather enjoyed several videos that are like, I teach my girlfriend Warhammer, or my girlfriend quizzes me on whatever, or my wife quizzes me on something, Warhammer, or I quizzed my wife on something like that, from Midwinter Minis years ago. Like, they were genuinely fun to watch. There's the other guy, I know exactly who you mean. His entire channel is I teach my girlfriend Warhammer. They were fine. Yeah, some of the episodes were quite fun, quite good. But yeah. Nadras Ghost RT. I do love Kill Team, but as time goes on, I find more fun in less competitive games that are not as complex in rules, which have been hard to... Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. Kill Team is a very strange rule set and like product. It is not a simple game, that's for sure. Yeah, I think you gotta want to like it. If you're not a big competitive gamer. Sorry, what I mean is I find it really, really hard to play Kill Team casually. I would not call it a game, or I think it's really, really hard to play Kill Team and just roll dice. I don't think you can just roll some dice in Kill Team. Yeah, which is a real shame. Don't get me wrong, it's great that it has that competitive edge, but I would really like it if you could just roll dice as well, but I cannot. But maybe that's because I'm playing it wrong. I've painted 2 boxes of Vet Guard, and I'm mostly done with my Legionnaires. Figuring out the rules is a part of the fun for me, and arguing about how different rules. Well, then you're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. You'd be surprised how many people would watch you just take the models out of the box. No, I'm aware. I'm aware. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I did an unboxing for Blood and Zeal. That was a thing. So, you know. Yeah. Oh, I suppose I should do a quick spiel, shouldn't I? I'm burning up, actually. I need a drink. But, hey, if you're my Patreons, or if you donate on chat, which is something you can do, by the way, you directly donate to my hydration fund, which today we're doing Coca-Cola Zero in a 2-litre bottle, because somebody gifted it to me when they came around to play a game, and I have to get through it before I can justify buying more. There you go. So let's smash this bad boy out. This is not buying local. This is the opposite of that. But there you go. All right, that's... Thirst quenching. I will not put this on the desk, because I will 100% knock it. I know me. I know me. My wife used to paint minis and play games until we got married. Oh no, dude, she got you. Damn, it's frustrating. That's the fear, right? It's kind of like, this is going to become a relationship advice channel, but you always hear this on like r/ask advice or whatever, or r/dead bedrooms, and it's like, oh, me and my partner used to have a great sex life, and then we got married and it all stopped. It's like, bro, what? This is kind of the geek version. Me and my wife used to play Warhammer twice a day. Now we're married. It's once a month. r/dead game rooms. Am I right, guys? My favorite thing to do in this hobby is definitely kit bashing. I bought some green stuff too, and some dental tools chip. Nice. I quite like a little bit of basic green stuff. You get a real feeling of accomplishment, and it's actually very simple and easy. I agree. I can see new generic equipment changing. There are a fair few things I've never seen. Yes, I agree. It feels like the equipment meta is relatively stable, that's for sure. I think the reason people watch unboxing is 40k boxes are expensive, and some people wouldn't want to gamble if what the box has in it is worth the spending. GW page does show some screws, but not all. That is true. But in this one particularly, it's for a niche game that isn't for my channel, so it's quite awkward to do, you know? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Does anyone know if the UK hosts anything like Adepticon? Would love to experience it. No. There you go. That's an easy one. There are conventions. I guess you'd be looking at Games Expo, which tends to be around Birmingham, which is UKGE, typically. But it's not like... So Adepticon has a huge focus on... Actually, is Adepticon even a convention? Or is it just a tournament? No, it's a convention. So the UKGE is primarily a show, and some gaming happens, is my understanding. That's kind of the best we've got over here. Because unfortunately, GW has taken their business to the US and not returned. I think it's really easy to like, at least for people that want to be able to win, even without dice rolls. That's why we like the game, even before we got the rules right. Oh, okay. Well, you do have to roll dice, I think. Maybe. I'm the same as Nadras. Since there isn't a narrative group for KT anymore, I can't find any casual games. Every game is... Yes, I agree. I agree. I can't remember where I talk about this stuff. Have I said this in the Patreon videos? I feel like I did, but yes. It feels like every game is a tournament game. I 100% agree. There is no casually rolling dice. I think that's a real shame. I'm so casual with QT, I'm playing just my pants. Eyes up here, buddy. Whoa. Alright. He's German. He's got the big sausage joke. I don't know. I apologise. On the way with my wreckers for one box, should I do Pulsar Rocket or Rocket Rack? Rocket Rack is generally considered the best option. Pulsar Rocket isn't always terrible, but in general, a Rocket Rack is the way to go. Glass at work. Hooray. Hooray to Shusharus. Playing Kill Team casually is hard, that's true. Counterpoint Drunk Kill Team, I played it once and it was probably the most fun match. Neither of us really cared too hard about winning. Well, that's always the way to go, isn't it? Right? Like, if you can enter that mindset... I mean, you can play Kill Team casually, but you both have to be willing to lose. And, like, find as much fun in that as winning. It's a mindset thing. You can play anything casually, and you can play anything competitively. But it does feel like... if one of you is playing competitively, and one of you is playing casually, the casual player is going to have a real bad time, probably. Pepsi Max Cherry for the win. I've never really gotten into the cherries, but bring out the big guns, you know it. Cherry sweets for drinks. Ugh. I kind of agree with you there, Swennels. I can't lie. Hello, Zingbo. Have you missed any hot takes? No, I should probably get to my hot take, shouldn't I? That's true. I'm still catching up with chat. My bad, my bad. My wife is up. Oh, it's jumped. Hold on. Can I swap to this? Oh, no, I cannot. No, I cannot. That's much better. Okay, is it? Yeah, okay. My wife is a much better painter than I am, mostly because she's a real artist rather than a mini painter like me. I don't know if that's how you... Fine. Cool. I'm gonna pass up on that comment, but that's very cool. It'd be awesome if my girlfriend was into painting, because then I wouldn't have to paint and she could do it, you know. Alan Foley, hello Alan. First time caught you live, excellent stuff. Slowly getting a feel for Kill Team, and it is creeping into one of my favourite games, and as I think GW one step from Cartel Scum for business practices. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I probably wouldn't call them that bad, but to each their own. I will say, so, you know, perhaps a few years ago I would have probably agreed with you. I'm sure there are some takes on my channel from, you know, 4 years ago where I probably agreed. But since then, you know what I've done that has changed my view? I've bought into other game systems. Ooh. Other game systems are expensive as hell and you get less models. No shade on them, to be clear. All that I'm not throwing shade at other game companies. I'm throwing shade at ourselves, you know? Whereas we would always kind of say, oh, GW's so expensive. It's like, yeah, but you know what? Buying 15 models for Infinity, it's like, it's more expensive. It's really expensive, you know? There are boxes for Infinity where you get 3 models, 40 quid. I was like, ah. And again, no negative to Infinity or Corvus Belli there. I love their stuff. I spend the money because I like spending money on my hobbies. I spend money to enjoy myself. There you go. That's how life is. But if I can do that, spend money on these smaller hobbyists, these smaller game systems, I cannot levy the same criticism against GW for what I'm spending money on for smaller games, right? So I kind of have had to change my tunes so that I don't have to apply the same GW logic to smaller games, because then that would be unfair of me, I feel. So I've actually kind of stopped talking about purchase prices as like a thing at all when it comes to criticizing GW, because they're not bad. I hate to say it. Yeah. Even 40k isn't that bad. If you just buy one army, It's fine. To each their own, though. To each their own, of course. UKGE is a role-playing convention that has some minis gaming. Okay. 4 square block and 3 floors of spiciness. I think online spiciness has a slightly different meaning these days, Wayne. Salute. Oh, yes, salute. That's true. That's true. I went there last year. I won't be going this year. I found it a touch fine. There you go. It was good. They had lots of stands there that were cool. If you're into any sort of more independent mini games, they are probably there in the UK. So that's cool. Epicness. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Epicness instead of spiciness. Got you. If you're looking for casual tabletop gaming, I don't think KT is your game. Try Warcry or something. Yeah, honestly, Salou has the right of it. I do think. Don't get me wrong. We can make whatever we want out of our games. We can play any game intensely competitively or intensely casual. But you do have to look at the rule system. And how does that rule set want you to play the game? Kill Team wants you to play a very tight game. That's just it's in the rule set. So yeah. Major Tom, I think that the UKGE is mostly a place where board gamers gather to play games and spend money with an RPG con going on nearby. That is my take on UKGE, but in fairness, I've never been. Because the one time I was going to go, I got sick. Probably COVID. Right, I need to work out what to build for Corsairs. I definitely want the Parrot. You would never not take the Parrot. But then we get a legend, Academic Chris, with $4.99 USD. Thank you, Chris. Even the co-op mode is fairly competitive. You are on wound count clock, but it's fun still. Hydrati Dominatus. So, as you know, I think you have to put a lot of effort into making Kill Team not competitive, but it can be done. As I said, if I can pat my own back, give myself the old hand shandy, if you will, I think that I put on a very good showing when I gave my girlfriend like her first intro game for Kill Team. It was co-op, me and her, against MPOs, and I just made everything up. Just raw dogged it, if you will. The game rules, to be clear. And yeah, I think it actually worked really well. And so there is a casual game in there. Like, it's just a, we basically played the light rules, although I've never read the light rules before. Threw away anything complex. I didn't even mention what obscuring is. Doesn't matter, does it? For your first games. Tac ops, none of that. Equipment, no, don't need that. All that stuff. Abilities, questionable. Don't really need them. And it came out as a very fast-paced, fun, casual game. Now, the fact that I had to gut the rules system to get that is obviously pretty telling, but it is there. If you're a kill teamer that knows what you're doing with the rule system, you can cut enough out of it to be a fast, fun, flexible, friendly, casual game. Co-op brings up an interesting point. Any idea how the Raveners will work in Coop? 2 Ops 3? Well, we don't know. From what they said in the article, we would assume that some of what they do is going to be unique to the MPO rules. Total guess. They have their little tunnel thing, and on the stream they said that other guys will be able to use their tunnels. I'm thinking the Raveners will be able to tunnel as they want, and then as an NPO rule, their allies, other tyrannies, will be able to use their tunnels. And so maybe they have specific rules in MPO land that they wouldn't have in competitive, which of course won't appear on the data cards that will appear in their little MPO system book. But no clue though. Jim Crimmins, good to see you, my man. Is it my imagination, or is Kill Team perhaps GW's hottest property? It should be, to be clear. It's 40k, but smaller, cheaper, faster. Although my hot takes is going to discuss faster, don't worry. But yes, it should be. Everything about it should be the bigger, better selling game than 40k. But I do think that 40k obviously suffers from legacy issues, as in people already play it. That's the legacy issue. It exists. And also just outrageous amounts of outside support that is being artificially propping it up. But yeah. And something else that I've forgotten. Well, and obviously complete speculation, but if you wonder if they'll address it. I suspect they're going to get custom rules for MPOs, co-op specific rules, I think, yeah. One rule we are slowly integrating into our games is what I call ROCUS, Rule of Common Sense. It's mainly used when someone would try to kill a mini while seeing only like an antenna. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I also totally understand why they can never include that in actual written rules, as we all do. But I do think that as a general house rule, makes total sense. Mech Boy, while we're here, just a reminder, KT 2020 hinted at sub-factions, but we never got them. It did, yes, 2021, where everything was labelled with a sub-faction and then just never appeared. We assumed it was going to. It would be like the Elites expansion, but no, never came up. And then we get a ledge. Durin Bjornsson with SEK. I believe that is the Swedish krona. 100 of them. Thank you so much. I really enjoy your shorts. Cheeky. And I think they help with reach because I can safely share them with my gaming friends and not think about them having time to watch. Yes, I agree. If I may wax lyrical about my shorts for a moment, I have had a lot of people watch my shorts and my reels that don't play Kill Team. And a lot of people think that my reels are negative towards Kill Team, but they really are not. They're just humorous. We all take things how we want to take them. And quite genuinely, I believe that all coverage is good coverage. And so people just seeing humor about a game, even if that humor is based in making fun of the rules, makes that game more popular. Genuinely. That is, of course, my take. Not everybody agrees with that. But yeah. Hot take. I knew this was coming. I dislike the many messy tokens engaged, concealed, wounded. Being next to the model, I prefer to keep them all on the character sheet. Opponent can ask it. So, this is actually one of my hot takes, so I'm not going to talk about it now. We'll get to that. But I disagree. Although I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. But I come quickly. I come originally from X-Wing. I kind of consider myself an X-Winger first. That was the first game I truly got into and like played as a game. And of course, Fantasy Flight's design ethos is much more board game based, and so tokens just felt natural to me. Yeah, man, talking other games, I love Marvel more, but damn, $40 for 2 minis. So again, you know, I would never criticize another company for cost. I get it. However, luckily I don't like Marvel, so I'm saved from that one. But you know, Shatterpoint is similar. I like the models. Don't really care what the price is. Yeah. I get you though. The more you spend on your hobby, the better I feel about how much I spend. Mate. I spend too much, let me tell you that. Way too much. I've done amazingly well. I have not bought a Warhammer model in, I think a month. Yeah. I'm going strong. This is like no FAP, but no GW. Right, I'm kind of on a no G-dubs month. I'm sticking with it. Does Kill Team have something like Crusade as in Big 40k? If not, I think it'd be a good addition. That was the fine idea of Crusade tournaments. Fun. No, so in fact, this is also discussed in my hot takes. In the last edition, Kill Team 2021, it did. Narrative. That has been removed in this edition. There you go, so those are gone. Has Salute stopped kicking people out for owning GW minis? I'm not aware of that drama, although you know me, if I see some drama, I'd be covering it. So, no, I have not heard of that. Best terrain? Oh, Volcus is great terrain. Say what you, like, It took me a bit of time to get into Volcus and stop complaining about how heavy focused it is and how much that skews the game, which it does. But it does look good, right? It's a good board, so I would recommend Volcus, genuinely. I've done a third-party terrain video. It's probably if you just type into YouTube Glass Half Dead terrain, Kill Team terrain, it will probably come up. Whichever one is the most recent video that comes up of mine, that will be the one to watch. And I ranked a whole bunch of different types of terrain put together to make a board. So yeah. Rapid gunnery allows Star Trek to shoot twice in a single turning point. Thank you. It's a nice little bit of Kill Team trivia there. Thank you. Best terrain is Volcus. Yeah, agreed. I know you said you hate painting. Correct. But I'd like a video on how you get your models done quick and on the table. I have done that before. In fact, Dogman, if you type into YouTube right now, Glass Half Dead, unbox to table, you will get exactly that. That was basically a stealth hobby video. I go over how I paint models. Yeah. Specifically there, I was doing my Blades of Cain. Have you ever been to Beachhead? No. No, I haven't. Which is a shame because I've been invited multiple times. But I have not been. I play my introduction games without special ops, without equipment, and without ploy cards to make an attraction. Yeah. Yeah. That's basically how to do it, isn't it? Yes. Yes, I agree. So, indeed, you strip out the thing that makes it the competitive game that it is, and you teach them the absolute basics, and then you layer things in as you go, for sure. Do you think Ravenous will be 4 APL or have the ability to make it an optive 4 APL? I reckon they're 3 APL, but they will have a comms ability. It might just be synapse, you know? The leader might just have synapse. Or maybe the leader's 4 APL. Somebody suggested that maybe they're going to be like the Patriarch. They're all 4 APL, but they can split their turns. Or maybe they're 3 APL and they can split their turns. I don't know. The thing with Kill Team is, their core rules are such a light framework, they can do anything, as they have shown. So that it is literally impossible to guess what a team might be. I have made a video about this and said it's a negative. That's why we need roadmaps, so that we can mentally prepare for something. But that was more about faction releases. There is literally no way to know at all what they could do as a new team. Although I say that, every time they do a reveal, we do look at teams and say, that's a comms, that's the thing, and we're normally right, so, weird one. Maybe it's having played in the 80s, Kill Team really isn't a complex as a system. Yes, let's all go back to Blitzspiel or whatever it is, sure. I don't think it's overly complex. I agree. But I fully understand why people think it's complex. And I think that war games in general are complex. So I don't see why that wouldn't extend to Kill Team as well. Oh, okay. They're confirmed as 3 APL. Screw it. We'll say they are now. Done. Locked in. They are 3 APL. Yeah, shorts were awesome. They brought you to my attention. Well, there you go. Thank you, Alan. Question, where do you get all those 40k shirts? I literally put into Google Warhammer Custodes hoodie, and it was on the first or second page of Google. There you go. Some dodgy Chinese website, basically. And they had loads. When are we getting to the hot cakes? Love some hot cakes. So perhaps you're unaware of how this works. Here's the thing, guys. The Monday live streams are really just me chatting to my community, because there's no other way to do that. I like doing that. I like interacting with chat. YouTube is a very lonely existence. Warhammer's pretty lonely too. We all search for that that social aspect. It's why so many people get into tournaments, because you get to meet other people, right? It's why so many people post their stuff on Instagram, because you get to interact with other people. This is my version of interacting with other people to do with my channel. You might think, but Andy, what about YouTube comments? Mate, the internet's pretty fucking toxic, I'm not gonna lie. I get a lot of hate online. I get a lot of hate. So let's just say I don't take my YouTube comments particularly seriously, and I kind of have to deaden myself to whatever those comments are, whether they're positive or negative, right? You know, let's just say that. So I kind of, yeah, I numb the pain with some Coca-Cola Zero. Yeah. So I don't. So this is what I'm here for, you know. However, obviously, everything does need to have something for me to talk about. I actually really like the size of these streams. They're good enough at the moment where I perhaps never need to go and look at my talk about what I'm going to talk about as the chat's flowing. But if the chat dries up, I'm happy to go and go to the points. I wouldn't like it as much if it gets bigger and suddenly I can't keep up with chat at all. Yeah, you know, it's not all about the size. It's not bigger is better. It's about the right size, you know? Guys, am I right? However, yes, I have 15 hot takes written down. And the general concept is that at some point, I will say them to you guys. Have a little chat. Although I don't think we're going to have time. And then at some point in the next 1 or 2 weeks, I will make a proper edited video with slides and stuff where I give the hot takes based on your feedback if you convince me I'm wrong or right. Paolo, my man, indeed, my man. Match play doesn't necessarily have to be competitive play. I'm a regular at tournaments, but always go in with the mindset of just playing a bunch of games and chatting to new faces for a couple hours. So I agree. I understand what you're saying. Match play and competitive play don't have to be the same, but maybe I'm wrong. I think that Kill Team as a rule set is a very lethal game, and if you're playing casually and you're just like, oh, I've moved here, cool, whatever, and your opponent says, oh, you were playing sloppy because we're having fun, I can shoot you now because you didn't put yourself particularly close to that piece of terrain. Oh, I've killed you. You're like, oh, okay. Well, no biggie, I'm playing casually. I'll move here instead. You're like, oh, sloppy move again. You left yourself in the open. I've killed you. And I think that you can very quickly end up with one person just smashed because they were playing very casually. Whereas the other person, even if they're playing casually but they're responding, I don't know. All I can say is that I have really struggled to just roll dice. I think that the rule set itself forces you to play a certain level of tight. Nobody wants to play a wizard's sleeve of a game, do they? Right? If Kill Team was a clown's pocket, we wouldn't be playing it. We'd be playing Warcry. I can't remember if it was in the article or not. They may have just mentioned it on the stream, right? I feel like the playing against X shots are hilarious. They definitely capture the feeling of being gotcha'd. Yeah, exactly. They're just funny. X-Wing was a great game. I have like 3 fleets upstairs, untouched, still in the box, because I just bought them like a month before FFG killed it, or AMG. Paolo, miss you too, my man. Miss you too. You know, I'm not a particularly good person when it comes to reaching out to people and letting people know that I like them. I actually liked a lot of the London crowd. I never particularly showed it particularly well. I will definitely say, like, I never kept in touch. It's just not who I am, unfortunately. But I remember a lot of the London crowd very fondly. Even though I may have never spoken to them after, apart from like a few sentences, but I'm like, no, it's that guy. Of course I know him. Yeah, so moving away is definitely sad. Such is life, such is life. But yes, Paolo, London guy. X-Wing 1.0. So I dropped off, I think it was around wave 6, maybe wave 7, was genuinely my formative gaming. Even though I must have been old AF when that happened, because it was only like 2017. Many years ago, I could be excellent. Resin token for War Master, very high quality. Is there an equivalent? Yes, of course, Alan. So I think that the current best, depending on your definition of best, is from buy the same token, which if you go and check whatever my last video was, there's a 5% off code for you there. You can also go 3D printed, in which case you probably want to be looking at Crossfire Games, which again, I have a 5% off code for you. There are many that do different ones, but both of those I have used. And all the offerings I've seen are basically the same. They're either acrylic, in which case that's buy the same token, or they're 3D printed, which is Crossfire Games. Many years ago, yep. Need a day since I bought a model count. I know, right? Yeah. That's a good idea, actually. Right, I saw somebody did a thing. Sorry, I'm going to jump to it. MR86, $5. Your videos and shorts have helped making getting into Kill Team a joy. Is Kaskin still the right pairing with Inquisition? Oh. I want to say yes. I don't think they really took much of a nerf. I think they are still the way to go. But I actually don't know. I don't think many people are playing Inquisition now. Whatever the nerfs were, they were clearly enough that Inquisition seems to have fallen off a bit. So I actually don't know. But I would assume so. I've lost it all. Right. Although I do see Kenny George there, who has yet to respond to me in Discord. I assume that we're meeting at 8 at Costa. Is that right, Ken? We did indeed have the double hello, CK. I apologize, you were too late for that. You can watch it back. Do you think we get another expansion for Volcus? No, this is done. Yeah, whatever this Typhon is, that's the last one. Then we're going over to whatever the new kill zone will be. I'm pretty sure. If we get a roadmap, yeah, Year of Chaos, and it's only been like Space Marines, not Chaos. Yeah. The triple comes later. That's right. Brother, the amount of negativity all you create gets ridiculous. Last I remember, you're stupid. You're stupid is free. Just move on if you don't like it. Some people are broken. I've got them pretty chilled out with it at the moment. Yeah, with where I am at the moment. It's fine. I very much take the opinion of I don't know who you are. Yeah. And if I do know who you are and you're someone that would insult somebody else, I'm okay with, you know, what's the classic? I've seen what makes you cheer, kind of thing. So I'm happy for, yeah. The smooth jazz complements that innuendo so well. Unfortunately, I said that innuendo so long ago, I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was the, oh yes, Warcry, the wizard sleeve of the gaming community rule set. Yes. The only time I wanted to leave a negative comment is when you ranked Deathcore as the worst here. That's fair play. That's fair play. If I recall, you forgot about the comms man and the comms bead equipment. In fairness, they're going to be rotated out, so who cares? No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't it be 16 hot takes after the one you just did? I don't know what I said. This is, okay, maybe I've made a mistake and these streams are too big because I'm so far behind the chat. I bet you're going to speedrun your hot takes and log off to avoid, possibly, yeah. And then I'll say, when I live streamed, nobody said anything negative about my hot takes, so it's fine. Yeah, because I logged off. Van, you stated in the past that you already made all the gotcha guides. Which one is... So unfortunately, the gotcha guides are not performing very well, and I have gotten to the point where it's probably better for my channel to not release them. However, if you want to watch them, simply click on one of my gotcha guides, and it should give you a playlist option. All of them are in the playlist, so you can just watch them all. They've all been live on my channel for like 2 months now, 3 months. So you can watch them all. You just have to search for them in the Kill Team playlist. But I don't know if I'm actually going to make any of them live again because they are not performing well at all. X-Wing is a banger. I agree. You moved to the US. No, Matt, I did not. All right, fine. I've caught up with the end of chat. Thank God. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. Right, Evil Bear. When I moved, I gave all my X-Wing to a friend. Yeah, still on the X-Wing. Made a few purchases on Element and Wayland. We were like, thank you so much, Kaz. As I've said before, hey, everybody out there, if you're ever buying Warhammer in the UK, go to your favorite content creator. It doesn't have to be me. They almost certainly have affiliate links that you can click on. And when you click on that link, it costs you nothing extra. And they get a little kickback. It might only be 1%. It might be 5%. It might be 10%. But they get a little kickback. And that really helps out content creators. And it costs you nothing. So I would genuinely recommend. And if you can use my link, that'd be awesome. Genuinely appreciated. But you should find your content creator. For example, I don't have any US or Canadian or European affiliate links. So if you're from those countries, buying from them, I have no links for you. Go and find your favorite American, your favorite EU, and click on those bad boys. If you're in the UK, it'd be awesome if you could click on mine. That'd be sweet. But you should always do it. Always do it. It's money lost if you don't, you know? So thank you, Kaz, and anyone else that has clicked my affiliates. I wonder if they can top Volcus. Yeah, it's going to be real tough. We're going to be real tough, right? Well, what gets dropped? That is... So, it should be Gallodark that goes away. And I don't like Gallodark, so I'm okay with that. But they literally have not used Beta Decima in Worlds. And nowhere has Beta Decima. I think they might skip Gallodark and drop Beta Decima instead. That's crazy, if so. Because that's not what they've said they do, but I think that's what they might do. Deathcore rotation out, and we get the Engineer as the mini of the month. That's a cool looking free mini, though. I'm going to try and pick that bad boy up. Don't even remind me about the rotation. That's the year one. That's the year one, isn't it? They just get left behind. Yeah. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It might do something, it might not. Click it and find out, I guess. I don't think it will, but hey, analytics are nice, so thank you. Gotcha, I'll give them a look. Sorry to hear about your about the... Yeah, it's a shame. It is what it is, you know. I got excited, and then I did a rash thing, which was make 15 how to play videos in a row, and whoops. No offense to anyone, but the latest terrain release is underwhelming unless you're a NIDS player. As a NIDS main, you can't tell, but these are my NIDS here and here. Love me some NIDS. If you're not a Tyranids player, this is the worst release ever, though. Yes, clearly. Really need a GW store in my country. Where are you from, Tunada? Do you use your own affiliate link for it? I have done it before, and it doesn't work. There you go. I've done it before. Your description says you have one through Neighbornight in the US. Is that not true? So I did, and I have had one person ever use it. And they either don't pay out automatically or they don't pay out under a certain amount. So I've never had any money through that affiliate link. So I would recommend not doing it and just picking another creator. There you go. What is your favorite team to play? Fair question. So the truth is that despite how much of a hardcore competitive gamer I am, my favorite team rotates based on what I'm most interested in thematically. However, if you ignore that and everything is just a blip on the board, because I love blips, it would have to be an APL 3 team. And it would have to be probably Angels of Death, or actually the team I've played the most this edition, crazily enough, is Blades of Cain. There you go. Yeah. I think the game is better. That is also in my hot takes. But I think APL 3 is just a so much more fun game. Are they rotating out terrain? Yes. So every year, along with the teams for that season going, they're also rotating out kill zones. Yes. This is all covered in the app, I believe. I might be wrong as well. Accuracy isn't like my brand, so it's fine. Love to get a refresh of ultra close combat quarters. It's still 100% the best way to play. Yeah, I've had some very poor experiences with Gallo Dark, so we will see. Doubly poor in the new latest edition. So I'm going to hold fire on agreeing with you there. Which is, again, strange because I loved Arena in 2018. I was a huge proponent of Arena. And even Pariah Nexus. But that did not transfer. Don't know why. I feel like we're getting a new version of boarding action like Gallo Dark as the next terrain, or not, because it does complicate many rules like fly. Maybe. Eddie, thank you so much. You the man. Considering some tournaments are still using Octarius, I don't think any kill zones are getting dropped this time. Well, yes, to be clear, any board can still be used, right? Like, any terrain is legal, but if you're looking at actual fully supported kill zones, then there is only the 3, which rotate out. What's your first hot... I probably should talk about my hot take, shouldn't I? Jeez. Before we talk about hot takes, actually, two things. Firstly, I'm going to shrink my window so that I can talk about something. Just very quickly, I'm going to go over a few things that are interesting to me. Firstly, this bad boy right here. So Archon Studios, it's a Polish company, have been granted or have purchased, whatever, the license for StarCraft to do a tabletop miniatures game. So a war game, which is releasing in 2026, and then board games are coming in 2027. I'm a real Blizzard fanboy, so I'm keeping an eye on this. We don't know anything really yet. There you go. But I'm pretty excited by that. The other thing is, there were, if you've looked at the stats, there were 4 tournaments in Spain. You know what happened at these 4 tournaments? Oh, sorry, these tournaments were last weekend and the weekend before last. And at these 4 tournaments, people were playing Sanctifiers and Goremongers. I think that shouldn't be allowed. And I think that's the coldest take I'm going to give tonight, because I struggle to see anyone disagreeing with me. But, like, playing teams before they're released in official ITC ranked tournaments? I don't know, man. I don't think that's on. You know? What do you think? Do you agree with me? What do you think? What should the penalty be? It's not the players' fault, obviously. The players just played the game, and they would have asked the TO, hey, I have the models, or I've proxied the models, can I play? What do you think? My fear is that the players that were there, maybe playtesters, I don't know, maybe content creators, and so they had early access to the models. That could be wrong. They could have just proxied them. But it's like, so they've already been playing with that team for weeks, maybe. If they're playtesters, maybe for years, who knows? And they've decided, that's my team, I'm a Sanctifiers main. And then the rules from creators go live, and the same day, because one of these, this one here, was on the 22nd. That's the day that the rules went live. And somebody played them? That's mad. The other 3 were all the next weekend, so 30th and 29th. Now, to me, I think this is like genuine drama. This is drama. This is a drama video. I'm probably going to do a drama video about this. Am I overreacting? Genuine question to the chat. Am I overreacting? Or is it like, yeah, fine, whatever. Who cares? No big deal. Deal with it. You know, the rules were there for all on that day, I guess, on the 22nd. So who cares? And to be clear, I'm a fan of proxies. I don't think someone should have to have the models, the official models, in hand. That's not needed. So is just the rules being in the ether enough to play them? Genuine question. As you guys answer that, I'm going to catch up with chat. The Czech Republic. Yes. Yes. I have been to the Prague Open once. I have some of your beautiful Game at EU mats. Love that company. Big fan. Have been to the Prague Open ages ago. Would love to go again. I hope that they manage to push Kill Team larger this year. Their Kill Team never seems to be particularly big. That does tend to be the way with Kill Team. If you don't have a champion pushing it, it never goes anywhere. But if you do have a champion, they do seem to grow. So fingers crossed for Prague Open 2025. So making your own symmetrical terrain, sorry. Also, once you get a good vibe going with Kill Team, it's easy to understand what the logic behind terrain is, and it's giving, yes, indeed. I think that you can make your own terrain boards for sure. Oh, visiting London from overseas for the first time in ages, looking for a decent hobby store to go into. Dark Star seems like the main recommendation. Dark Star? Do you mean Dark Sphere? Dark Sphere has a nice, large selection. There's also Element Games has just opened up a shop in London, I believe. I've never been. But the one to check out, well, that's only if you're playing. There's also Bad Moon Cafe. That's kind of the big place where people play in London. But it is primarily a place to play. There's a little cafe you can sit down in as well. But yeah. Just to why they're getting rid of terrain. Well, they're getting rid of terrain in the same way that they're, just releasing new ones. It's just when you go to Worlds, they won't be using that terrain, we would assume. I don't think that tournaments should be as loyal to GW's terrain as they currently are. Or at least, I don't think that having everybody playing on Volcus and Gallowdark is the way tournaments should be being run, to be honest. I think we should be playing on anything. Anything that's good, obviously. But, yeah. But hey, I'm not a competitive player, so whatever. Why do I get a say? Oh, because I'm a content creator. Because of my brain rot, that's why. I will give myself a pat on the back for predicting on Reddit the last two boxes, particularly bot whatevs. One of my hopes was the Church Fanatics versus Zinch, Thrall Wizards and Cultists, so not perfect. No, missed that one. I also noticed the old 2005 Spawn, yes. But I matched that respectively against Kachan Eldar Exodites. Okay, well, in a long enough timeline, everybody's release hopes are correct. There you go. I've gotten massively lost in this chat. I want Blades of Cain, but don't want to have to buy a box of Avengers and Banshees. Need to remortgage the house at this rate. Yeah, you do straight up just have to buy 3 boxes. Yeah, there's no other way around it. I don't. Yeah. So they're not getting rid of the rules for the rotated out kill teams. They will still be there. I was addicted to WoW for only a year. Lightweight. Pink-haired gnome warlock. My first character was a red-haired gnome warlock. His name was Buzzket. He was my first level 60 back in vanilla. I even got an epic mount with him, so pretty hype. Hello, Brewster. Good to see you. I realised that you typed that like 20 minutes ago now. Jonathan Campbell. Bit behind the stream, but got into KT through Dark Heresy. Oh yeah, okay, cool. I've never been a D&D'er or an RPGer. Much to my chagrin. Yes, their rules are not out yet. No bueno for unreleased. I agree. I've been surprised by the number of Blood and Zeal property. So have I. From day one, we've been seeing people with Blood and Zeal models. Just like, oh, got a cheeky copy. It's like, how? Like, yeah, really weird. Opponents will not have the chance to know the rules of teams not yet released. Sean's answer, you are not. Shouldn't happen. Not overreacting, make the video. You know it. You know it. Drama videos can't be stopped. Can't be stopped. It's the bread and butter for any true YouTuber. Some tournaments don't allow stuff that came out a week or two before the tournament. Crazy for a tournament to allow stuff that came out a week or two after. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. I know it's my toxic trait, but I love drama, so please do a drama video. Officially unreleased teams shouldn't be played in tournaments. I'd watch that video for sure. I'm definitely using my DK. Deathcore. I see DK, I think Death Knight. You know, as proxy for something after they get rotated out. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't lock in rules like a week before the tournament date. Yeah. Oh, cool, thanks. I've done a bunch of terrain layouts using various old and non-KT kits. They were a lot of fun to play, a real palette cleanser. Over 80 folks in chat, but only 16 likes. Help Andy out, hit that like button. Give me that thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. Or don't. I don't know if it matters. As long as you're having fun, that's what matters. Second hot take. Oh, I haven't given a first hot take. First hot take. I'm thinking of streaming a game. I'll talk more about it once I catch up with chat, but sorry, that was just a thought when I saw it. Yeah, this is crazy. Even in Big 40k, if you get your codex from one of the FOMO boxes, it isn't legal until the... Yep, agreed. Even Warhammer World doesn't limit itself to the big 3 terrains. Yes, well, actually, you say even Warhammer World. I would say Warhammer World is the exception. Any sort of big terrain I see tends to go with Volcus and Gallowdark, at least in the UK. So far, that's what I've mainly played on. It's just not viable to expect to source that much terrain. I agree completely. Dogman, now that we're getting the long-awaited Nid and AdMech teams, what are we supposed to whine about? Grey Knights and a good AdMech team. I don't know. Also, Deathwatch. That's in my hot takes. Actually, that's my 14th point, and it's a cold take that we need Deathwatch. 2 big terrains. Not many tourneys using beta Decima. Yeah, no one's using BD. I'll DM a game of D&D for you, Andy. You know, I go through phases of wanting to play it and not. Right now, I'm not in that phase. Honestly, I'd probably be more like a Vampire the Masquerade chap, if I'm honest with you. Love a vampire. Love a bloodsucking, you know? Interesting, I see DK, I think Donkey Kong. Oh, I see it, yeah. I believe lots of games stores got their allocation delivered the week before pre-orders even went live. Oh, okay, all right. Well, that does explain it, obviously. Do you think you'll ever catch up with chat? No. We can whine about Nids not being a Horde team. No. Elite Horde? I want Elites. Elites are so much more fun. Right. Anyway, okay, so we've talked about that. That's cool. So I can close that up now. So I guess I do have to do that drama video. Where is my list? Here we go. Here we go. Right. Oh, sorry. Before we get to the hot takes, I was going to talk about a battle. So, I have an idea. I might want to stream a game and commentator on it. Specifically focusing on the art of being a good commentator as opposed to, you know, the game would be happening. It might even be a pre-recorded game, to be clear. And the focus would be me streaming. Just with an uncut game. And I might do that for one of these Monday live streams. So, you know, it'd be hour and a half, hard time limit. 2 hours, I guess that's how long a game of Kill Team is. And I would just focus on actually trying to, like, commentate well on the game. And see if I can do that. I might do it for patrons first. So that I can see if it actually works. Because, unfortunately for my patrons, I often give them videos that don't work. So yeah. So I might do that for them first. See their feedback and then say, you know what? I think this could be a thing. And then do one for a live stream. So do it live properly. Because I have an idea. So as I said, when I went to the UKTC and helped TO it, it was quite fun. It was quite fun. It's good to meet all the people again and actually get out of my closet. Because I am for sure in the closet. There's no doubt about that. And it would be a good way of doing that, as someone that isn't actually that competitive a player, obviously, or a good player, is to, because I have the Chan, to be a streamer, right? So stream, commentate on, spectate, be a shoutcast, a thing. But before I would go somewhere and do that, I would obviously do it in the safety of my environs, and try to do it as a dry run, if you will, a very wet dry run, if you will, and see how I feel about that. Yeah, Brian, patrons get all the cool stuff that doesn't work. Yeah. So I'm thinking of doing that for one of the Monday night live streams. It will be very obvious on the thumbnail if that's what's going to happen. The hope there is that I commentate the game well and still have time to interact with chat. Would you be playing the game? No. So the idea of this would be that I would be practicing streaming. Yeah. Oh, because what I would like to, I feel like I just said this, but I can't remember if I just did, is that I would like to use it as practice to then go and stream, for example, the WTC in August, or local just UKTC tournaments or something like that. Now, the real issue with those is actually internet issues, because you can always just mic up the players and say, yeah, have fun with that. But I think there's a real art to being a good shoutcaster for a game. And everybody wants a different thing from their shoutcasted game. A lot of people actually just want to hear the players. But I think there's probably a mix in there somewhere between player mics, commentary on the game, interaction with chat that could be found. And if I were to do that, it would kind of be in prep for doing a big tournament that nobody else is currently streaming, kind of thing. Just an idea. I'll probably do it once and say, oh, that didn't work, and then move on. I feel a good game cast, or whatever you would call it, would be a flash by but micro focus on the cool stuff and why and how. Well, that's the real issue with shoutcasting games, is in a 2-hour game, you probably have about 25 minutes of good, interesting stuff. So good luck with the rest of it. You really need 2 people to bounce off of. So yeah. I just lost the game. Oh no. Well, it is, yes. It's a bit of a mad one, I understand. Never prematurely shoot your wad on what was supposed to be a dry run, if you will. Exactly, I wouldn't want to do that. Damn you. Right. Okay, question for the Americans out there. Random one before we get to the hot takes. What is the current price of eggs? How much would a 6-pack of eggs cost me? Genuine question. I keep seeing it everywhere that eggs are crazy. It made me feel reckless. Like, I was just filled with reckless abandon when I boiled 6 eggs the other day. I was like, damn, I'm living a life of luxury in the States at the moment. How true is that? Streaming KT is tough. I don't think... Dogman, that is a joke, right? 6 eggs is not $25. I refuse to accept that. I don't think KT streams that well as the World Champion. The World Championships were 4-hour games. That's not... that just isn't streamable, right? Gold Squad, yes, Measure Tom, you always... I do need to go and listen to one of those and see what they're doing. That you keep raving on about, to see what they're doing, for sure. Eggs are now below $5 for a dozen. Oh, okay, well, that's fine, right? That seems okay. I don't know how much eggs are supposed to cost. I feel like that woman in Arrested Development. It's a banana, Michael. How much can it cost? $10? I do feel like that when it comes to eggs. I can't lie. But yeah, I've never really been an egg eater. Until now. Love an egg. Banger. I finally, at the ripe old age of 37, learned how to boil eggs. That might sound weird, but to be clear, I can cook anything else. I'm a fully functional adult. I just had a small knowledge gap because I had never boiled an egg. There you go. Now I've done it. Turns out it's rather easy. They were delightful. But there you go. Right. $5 for a dozen. £3.86. Oh, I don't know if people are making fun, if people are just saying random numbers. $2.86 for 6. That is about the same as the UK, it feels like. Warhammer is cheaper than eggs. Chef Biscuit, yes. You can ask any questions you want. Go for it. I might ignore them, but yeah. $4 a dozen. That seems fine. That seems fine. Why are they memeing them so hard then? Because that seems okay. It's easier to get Kinder eggs than real eggs. I used to be allergic to egg whites. Oh my god, how do you live? I don't know. I think that I bought like a box of 6 eggs for £1.85 earlier today. I feel that's an acceptable price. You can go higher for some higher quality eggs, I guess. But how do you like your eggs? Unfertilized. Story of my life, mate. They used to sell for $1.25. Oh, okay. I mean, so they've doubled in price. Oh, okay, it was bad. I just started playing Deathcore of Krieg KT. Is it worth running 14? 14. Yes. So, Kill Team currently has several teams where you kind of have to get more. They are technically playable with a single box, but you're not really meant to, right? Deathcore of Krieg is one of those. Yeah, you were definitely supposed to get 4 more models. Yeah, 100%. Technically playable is not the same as how they're supposed to be played, you know? Experts, yes. A lot of experts in the chat today. I saw that. In their infinite wisdom, Doge had fired loads of the people dealing with their bird flu epidemic, then hastily rehired them. Who would have guessed that firing random people is a bad thing? Yeah. They used to be a lot less expensive, like 2 to 3 for a dozen. Oh, okay. So they have like doubled or more in price. Gwarlock. Would you prefer G Warlock or Gwarlock or Gwarlock? Long time watcher, love your content, brother. Even the gotchas. Everybody loves the gotchas. Don't pretend even the gotchas. Everybody loves them. Most people only know me for my gotchas. Because that's how shorts and reels work. They have a much wider range. It was memed hard because politics. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Let's keep that smooth jazz running. Calf in Birmingham called Mr. Egg. Nice. I think you're around 13 Death Knights. There's a really good saturate ploy you want permanently. Ah, yes. That is the current meta. Yeah. There's no reason to not run that. And giving up 1 model is worth a CP a turn for Death Knights. I'm just calling them Death Knights from now on. Damn, that would suck. Don't buy a second gated box. Yes, Dogman is correct. Also, just going to throw it out there. They are any 25mm model. You know, you don't have to get Deathcore. Just any 25mm model. Yeah, just throwing that out there. If Tyranids lay eggs, would instantly. I mean, after the first few people got their stomachs burned out by acid, then we might, you know, talk about safety standards for cooking them for long enough, but we would eventually learn how to eat those. Humans love eating the unborn fetuses of other animals. Oh, right, okay. So they were pretty great. Alright. That is quite expensive, to be fair. If I saw a box of 6 eggs for £10, I wouldn't buy those eggs. So I do understand that. Oh, yeah. 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 Every day I wake up to Reddit telling me some new American politics. I have enough inner rage built up to start a politics channel, but I'm very carefully not. Let me tell you that. Doing MC Raid, love it. Love it. I assume not hardcore, because you get DDoSed. But good. The gotchas are quite controversial, to be fair. Locally, many people only know you from... Exactly. Oh, that's fine. They can think I'm a Kill Team hater. I'm okay with that. They're wrong. It's okay. Again, as I said, the idea that... Yeah, I don't know. I value humor above most other things. And I think that people that would like me would also like the gotchas. So, you know, I don't know who those people are. If they don't like me, I don't like them. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't like them. I don't even know who they are. So, they are irrelevant to me. If they can't see humor in the gotchas, I probably wouldn't want them watching my main channel anyway. So, but good for them. I think nids taste like crawfish. Yeah, crawfish with acid. 20th anniversary. Oh, is there a new season of Discovery or something? I'm going to be honest, I'm a retail guy. I'm not a classic guy. Can't lie. Poultry standards of farmer compensation traditionally significantly lower than UK, so the price is going up. They have an inferior product at a silly price. Also, sorry, Brewster, I believe that they do chlorinate their eggs, and their chicken breasts, right? Like you chlorinate your chicken meat. It's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But you know, I guess I've never tried. I guess I have never eaten chlorinated chicken meat. So like, yeah, weird. Maybe it tastes great. I don't know. Make America eggs expensive to save Tesla cars. If I live local, I might stalk you and buy your eggs. Okay. Please don't stalk me, but thanks. Back to basic after sold retail, taking back my sub and Patreon list. Yeah, that's fair play. I can't argue with that, Alan. But I realise we're talking about WoW, and I probably need to get to my hot takes before I have to finish this stream. But I have quite an aversion to relying on nostalgia for my enjoyment, because I'm aware it's something we all do, and it's something we all enjoy doing, and I feel like I would very easily, like many people are, get locked into... I'd basically stun lock myself into being constantly into... Like, I would stop exploring new things, and I would stop everything, and I would just rely on my own nostalgia very easily. I do think I am that kind of guy. And so when I heard that Classic was releasing, mate, I had 2 level 60s before BC released. Warlock and Druid. Loved it. I was watching Classic back in the day on YouTube. I'd watch Classic PvP gaming, like gameplay, you know. I was a WoW main, and I'm not afraid of getting like into Classic again. I'm afraid of stopping progressing forwards in my life, and I think that playing an inferior game just because I remember it is probably a bad idea for me. But I have been really enjoying the current OnlyFans thing, primarily watching Peekaboo. He's fun. But anyway, I was being serious. Love the gotchas. I didn't like when you said you weren't getting much views because your content personality is more than worthy of views. Everyone has different, you know, it is what it is, right? Also, my channel's a bit weird because it's been around for 6 years and gone through very large changes. So it is what it is. It's cool. It's cool. But thank you. Do you think the new Nids team was supposed to be able to take Hormigans, but the rules didn't work? That's an interesting notion, actually. That'd be quite fun. Quite fun to find out. But no is the answer. I don't think that's how it is. But be interesting. What's that? You have 50 wounds, invulnerable to my strongest weapons, and can one-shot my strongest unit. Right. That is it. That is it. Well done. You've written the script for that. Yeah. We should take a drink every time Andy says, I should really get... Yeah, I know. Yeah. Are Hormigans in the Typhon box or not? They are, Brewster. Yes. 100%. It was confirmed. Men will literally chat with chat 90 minutes before saying a second hot... I haven't said a first hot take. I haven't got to it. The top of my list is what's the price of eggs? That was, yeah. Yeah, it's not worth trapping our gaming experiences to one product because of nostalgia when we could experience dozens of... I've played some bangers lately. I can't lie. I've really enjoyed my gaming lately. I got out of it for ages. But the last few games I've played have been great. I'm not going to lie. The combat system for Avowed smashed it. Really, honestly, some of the best first-person melee combat I've played in a game. Really fun. Movement system super smooth, like parkouring over everything, really smooth, really great. Really enjoyed Avowed, actually. Despite not liking the world at all, to be clear. So, anyway, I'm going to move on from that. But I've been playing some good ones. I've also been playing Eternal Strands. Really enjoying that too. I'm not really a roguelike guy, but this is fun. First top, right, fine. Let's do the hot takes. What have I got? Okay. So, some of these are pretty chilled. Let's do it. So, the idea is that I'm sandwiching my hot takes. These are going to be hot takes that are both positives and negatives. I don't just want 13 rapid fire me crapping on Kill Team, right? So, I'm trying to sandwich them with positive hot takes and negative hot takes. The first one is line of sight rules are good. There you go. I think that's self-explanatory. I actually think that the line of sight system in Kill Team is relatively simple and it is really good. There you go. I liked making an absolute clown at the beginning of Avowed and actually having people comment on how weird I looked. Yeah, sure. Is it just food crimes? No. The line of sight's good. There you go. That's my first hot take. Whenever you're looking at anything like that, line of sight always gets criticised for how complicated it is. I don't think it's that complicated. I hate to be that guy. Maybe I'm just balls deep in copium. Maybe I've drunk the sauce. I don't think that's the term, but let's go with it. I think line of sight's good. If that's an 8 out of 10, you are going to need a new scale, buddy. And fun isn't that simple. Cool. All right. Okay. Kill Team is two great games that suck when you play them together. What do I mean by this? I mean that it is a game of two halves. The tale of two cities, if you will. You have elites and you have everything else. Elites on elites is such a fun game. Normal on normal is such a fun game. But they do not work together at all. There you go. There you go. What are your thoughts on that one? What are your thoughts on that one? Is that hot? Or is that cold? Give me a rating. What's your rating? Toon, that was my explanation. Do you need more than that? So I didn't say line of sight isn't complex, but it's good. And I think that the level of complexity is commensurate. I might have to Google what that word means, but commensurate for the experience it gives you on the table. I agree partially. If you're experienced, the divide lessens. If you're new, the divide is a chasm. If we could incorporate the term wizard sleeve or clown's pocket into these, please do. Never played Elite Team, Hearthkin, Jaeger and Scavenging. Fair enough. Well, this won't be within your expertise, within your wheelhouse, Alan. But I genuinely think that Kill Team is basically two games, and I do not think that they are well balanced together. This might not be true at the top end, but certainly at my level of play and below, I do think this is very true. As I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, I think that I could play a Marine team, and when I do that, I could be playing a super fun casual game, and if my opponent's not playing an elite team, they are sweating it out. Okay, so that's going to be a short that I do. That's going to be my next reel. Okay, you know, there's that meme where there's it's the gamer meme where there's you got the picture of the guy on like a green background who's like sweating and like like having the absolute time, you know, the most stressful time of his life, and I'll put, and that's going to be someone playing any other like normal team, playing a horde team and kill team, and then you have the opposite where someone's just like blah, 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 like having fun. I'm going to playing an elite team. I'm going to write that down. That's going to be a banger. I'm going to laugh when I do that. Playing elite team versus playing horde team, sweaty gamer meme guy. There you go. In case you're wondering, my reels short skits I did is up to 196 now. There you go. Am I ever going to do any of them? I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not from the looks of it. Cool. Done that. I think Volker's terrain is the reason for line of sight issues, from the vantages, points, and varying Gothic terrain shapes. I don't think that's the case, Sean. It could be, but we've had these line of sight complaints all of last edition as well, when Volkers didn't exist. Spice must flow. I like the take is that due to activations as well as stats. All sorts of reasons. I'm not qualified to say. Or, I mean, what I mean there, sorry, because I am qualified to say, because everybody is, because nothing means anything. Everyone's qualified to say anything they want. That's how the internet works. I would want to sit down and really think about it before I just spouted some things off. Yeah. I thought the two games were the miniature game and the card game. Not quite, not quite. I've only played Elites and Kill Team's easy AF. Correct! If you only play Elites, Kill Team's such a fun casual game. I agree. Correct. You are playing one of the two games that Kill Team is, yes. Between 9 teams, I have more cards than my MTG. There are... Oh, you mean the data card. Okay, yeah. You have a lot of cards. You have a lot of cards, yes. Yeah, you do. I've only lost one game. Peter, you're kind of... I think you're proving my point very well on this, so I'm going to assume that you're on my side with that one then. How do you think they can be balanced better? I would have to consider to give you a proper answer there. I do agree that elites on non-elites feels weird. Also, some teams are very anti-elite and most elites just demolish non-elites. Yes, in general. Especially at certain skill levels. What are the elite teams though? I'm pretty sure any Space Marine teams, but I'm not sure about the others. So I would class elite teams as 8 or fewer models. There you go. Which does mean that Goremongers have just been added to elites. I do not know how Goremongers play. Maybe they don't play like elites. But basically, it's all the Marines plus Void Dancers and Blades of Cain. There you go. What are the... Yep. I only bought Lord of the Ring packs for like a month or two. But I have so many cards. Lord of the Ring? Okay. KT Elite Teams, it was based and red-pilled. Elites is such a fun game. We'll get to that. It's another hot take. Don't worry. Elites are for the unskilled. Facts. Yes. Speak the truth, my brother. I'm definitely on your side. I feel the skill ceiling is higher for non-elites. I agree. And I say that as somebody that cannot win a game unless I'm playing elites. So yes, I agree with you. When are the Plague Marines releasing? Plague Marines are starter set only. If you don't want the rest of the starter set, you can just buy them off eBay, I'm sure. Alternatively, buy the starter set and then sell the Marines. Yeah, it's probably the way to get them. I don't know, my MG collection numbers over 10k, that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. Yes, Hyrotech and Wrecker Crew. Yes. Might even be way more than that. I haven't counted in a while. However, I'm not sure if I actually include Hyrotech and Wrecker Crew in elites, but I still do think they are different. Cool. Okay. All right. I think everybody agrees with me there that Kill Team is a tale of two cities. I should really find out what that play is about before I make that reference again, because I actually have no idea. Just to be clear. Right, Line of Sight was good. Kill Team is 2 games. So again, compliment sandwich here, guys. We now go with another positive. This is kind of related to the Line of Sight, but I feel I could squeeze a few more drops of milk out of the udder on this one. The order system and tokens are good. So there you go. Whoever said that earlier, I like tokens. I think the order system, I love it. Being able to say, just no, you can't shoot me, without putting yourself into a compromising position because I'm concealed, is so cool. I think thematically it's really awesome, and I think that honestly I don't see this in other games, to the point that I'm like, how do other games even function without this? So I really like the order system, and obviously that means you have tokens on the board, but because I come from FFG as my formative games, I'm okay with that. I like it. It makes things clear and obvious. Yes, it makes things a bit more board game like, but you know what? And I hate to say it. I hate to say it, guys and girls and others. Even in 40k, where technically you never need tokens on the board really help. You have abilities on everyone. You're using strats, you're using stuff. You kind of need tokens there. Tokens are just reminders. That's all. That's all. I understand that some people don't want them on the board because it perhaps removes from the cinematic aspect of it, but I don't have that issue because at the end of the day, although I really value theme and such, like very highly, and like the cinematic look, and I wouldn't play with grey, all that stuff, at the end of the day, I really value mechanics and the game being fun and good, and that comes from mechanics. Everything else can be layered on top of that, you know? So yeah, there you go. So I think orders are good. Order system, tokens, all good. Having tokens on the board or having to move when the model reminds you of any boosts. Yes, exactly. To me, they are just reminders. You could have them off the board, that'd be fine. 210 hotness, we all agree that orders are what makes KT work. Yes, I agree. A bit of a cold take, one could argue, but my actual cold takes are at the end. Can't believe it took me this long to discover KT. I've been in the Warhammer hobby for 20 years, and this has to be the best way to enjoy the universe. Plus, please GW sell us tokens separately. Yes, indeed. Again, you could check out, you know, buy the same token, or Crossfire Games, both of which I have affiliate links to. Please check those out. But yeah, also they must be all over eBay. If you want the official GW card tokens, they must be on eBay everywhere, surely, as 40k players bought the team and then didn't want anything in them, right? Book French Revolution. Ugh. All right, I'll stop using that phrase because I don't know anything about that. I really love the casino versus engage system. Tokens really aren't too bad. If you don't like tokens on the board, you can always put them on a data card. I've never played anyone who's put them on a data card, but I will say I would really struggle with that. I think you need to know... yeah. Because engage conceal is so defining, I think they have to be right next to the model. I don't know how I would play against someone not putting them on the board. I would super struggle with that. Hot take, all teams should be able to play as elite/horror. They need to rewrite the rules. Yes. All they need to do is completely change the game, and it's a much better game. I agree, Dogman. Right there with you. Niall Mulligan, loved the video about Boss of KT Co-op. Any ideas what models or characters you will use? Yeah, so I made that with my Rogel Dawn in mind and my Norn Assimilator. I actually, well, the Norn Assimilator, I originally did the boss battle for in the last edition. I was going to do a whole like battle report for it, but I didn't. So many cool. Any big model, they're all cool, and all the rules are made up. They could all just be fun. It sounds great. I would play any. I will say I am more attracted to using a vehicle than just a cool dude. So like I wouldn't play the ninja or the hero, as I think I titled them. I would always be playing the brick, and it would be a monolith or a Rogel Dawn or a Storm Surge. 100%. Yeah. I like the tokens. I even use the grenade token equipment tokens. Yes, exactly. I use grenade tokens as well. Oh, you roll your CP dice. Nice. Tokens off the board allows for some shenanigans. I do agree with that. But I don't want to attribute to malice what we can attribute to incompetence. And if I had my tokens off the board, I would be being very incompetent with them. 100%. So the fact I keep them on the board is just because then I know they're there. The story contrasts the two cities of London and Paris, highlighting the social and political climates of each. It depicts the years leading up to the French Revolution and subsequent reign of terror. With the reign of terror in there, I suppose that does sound very Kill Team, so maybe I'll keep using it. I think the tokens off the board thing is more popular as a board game type thing, like how in X-Wing you put your shield token. You did, didn't you? Yes, yes. You'd also put your... I remember, back then, it was a real thing. Some people would put their dials face down on their card, and some would put it face down on the board. So, yeah, it's more of a thing there. Anyway, okay. So, a nice chilled one there. Again, the sandwich. Order system. Oh. Okay. The way they chose to write rules is the worst possible option. They need a third document. We've got core rules. We've got key principles. I want technical document. I've kind of explained this one to patrons already. This is going to be its own video at some point, as I just absolutely ream the rule system. We can see from what GW is currently doing, they are trying to add in several key core concepts into Kill Team, namely the idea of snapshotting stats, the idea of keywords, and the idea of order of operations. Unfortunately, their system is not built to handle these things, and so they are having to rewrite 100 rules instead of 6. It's really awkward. Additionally, so we've got the Blood and Zeal cards, right? Here we go. So, here you go. Can you see this? All of this text is explained in 4 words. Okay. Oh, where's my camera? Okay. There you go. All of that text is 4 words. I'm not ever going to read this text. I'm just going to read revive onto 1 wound. There you go. I'm using this as proof that the Kill Team rules designers know they fucked up. They fucked up their rule system. This is all that needs to be there. Oh, look at that. I still know what this card says. Now, if this was a keyword system, revive, that would be a keyword. And the revive would then tell me that when I revive, I can either dash or fall back within 3 inches, right? So you could then literally just have revive onto 1 wound, and it would tell you the additional things in the keyword for how revive works. They have not done that. I'm aware, Toon, that's exactly why it's there. And that is why I propose the technical document. Because I agree, the Kill Team rule system as it currently stands cannot be 4 words. I completely agree. That's why you do need all of this text. However, they made the rule system. The system could have been these 4 words work. All of this in the core book. Because it's a keyword. Revive does the same thing. And the only modifier you have is revive 1 wound, half wounds, 5 wounds, whatever. They did not do that. And so the way around that, because we cannot yet rewrite the entire rule set, is to do a technical document. This exists in other war games, not GW games, but other war game systems out there. They will have a technical document where Magic the Gathering does it, right? So this isn't in the core rules, but for those who really want to get into it, if you want to know your order of operations, there is a document. I think Infinity does this as well, where you can download. It's never printed, right? It's just a PDF. You can go and you can find out every single rules interaction and how they interact and when they interact, etc. And we could have that. It wouldn't need to be printed in the core book when they go ahead and do their 4th edition, right? Because it's not needed for your standard game. It could just be its thing. We know what revived. There you go. Anyway, so that's my real frustration. I think I have another. Let's have a look. Yes, here we go. So, again, this is just one of the ones I brought up because look at how much text is here. I'm not even going to read the text to you. I'm not even going to read the text. Likewise, mandrakes. What is this? This is a Black Library novel. What are they doing? So, if we go and look at a 40k stratagem card, it tells you 3 things. When, effect, restriction. Okay. Now, we can see they kind of semi-did the same thing here. Green, red. Okay, alright. What's all of this? The way Kill Team chose to write their rules makes short rules long. No, I've said that the wrong way around, sorry. The way 40k chooses to write their rules with their stratagems with effect, when timing, effect, restriction, can make a short rule long. So, for example, if you were to do that with revive onto 1 wound, you would change revive onto 1 wound to being like this card length, okay? You know, like, so you would be extending the rule. That would be bad. However, Kill Team, as we can see here, is not a game of short rules, right? How many rules are there that are just when this operative performs the fight action, it can perform a second fight action for free, right? That's an okay rule to read. What the fuck am I seeing behind me here? What is this? What are you doing? So, instead of writing a Black Library novel worth of literature on every data card for certain teams, they should have fell back to the much simpler bullet pointing. So you say effect, timing, restriction, and that's it. There you go. They chose to write out basically Kill Team, unfortunately, is a game system where the rules are written to be long and wordy. And they could have chosen to write them shorter, and they didn't. The negative to using the way to write rules shorter is that it makes shorter rules longer. But Kill Team doesn't have short rules. There you go. Okay. Got to kind of 510 hotness needs expanding on, but I think I agree. We all have to be expanded, if you know what I mean. I apologise. MG calls out the comprehensive rules. Yep, that's exactly what I'm asking for. The rules are written. I agree, they are written better, but they are still long rules, right? They're still long. Long AF. The text is there in case anyone... Yes, agreed. Yep. Since we got to the rules talk, hopefully Ice Cold Take, I hope that someday GW starts treating rules like Paizo does with Pathfinder, Starfinder, all rules completely free online. It's never going to happen. They make too much money. Thank you. I mean, we don't know specifics, but it is roughly said that every time they release a codex for 40k, they make £1 million. So, yeah. Why would they stop that? Further to that, they literally did that in 8th. They released PDF copies alongside the codexes. They stopped that in 9th because it lost them money. I can't imagine any other reason they would have stopped doing that. So there you go. Not going to happen for 40k. Kill teamers get it for free. Hell yeah. Rock on. I would love a rules simplified as a new player instead of playing. I completely agree. You see, this is the thing. If you gave me a team where all of the rules were 4 words. What's this? 3 words, right? Just give me that. Then give me a proper document that has everything expanded upon. But genuinely, I think the way these data cards look is such a turn off for new players. Genuinely. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about it for too long because I will. Big miss is all I'm saying. Big L. Big L. Simplified blurb, then you got super. Yes, exactly. Many other companies do this. It just makes sense. I'd like to ask you to talk about the cards a little more. I haven't heard much about them. What are your opinions? Do you mean the data cards or the Blood and Zeal cards? Arguably, outsourcing these rules to specific instances rather than the core rules reduces the amount of initial reading and learning which help onboarding. Yes, CT, so I completely agree. That is obviously what GW did with Kill Team. They decided to get rid of a big list of core keywords and remove themselves from the keyword system so that they could put it into individual cards. The problem there is that there are so many instances of an identical rule that when they then have to go and make a change, instead of making one change to the core keyword, they make 60 changes because there are 60 medics in the game, something like that, right? So it's a balancing act. There's no doubt about that. Hence why I propose the whatever it is, the technical document, the complete rule set, whatever it is. So yes, I'm not saying that the core rules should have it or the key principles. I'm saying, yeah, there you go. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I just cannot see the current data cards as they are being a positive for anybody. There you go. Too much text, for sure. Got into KT21 playing Custodes and Sisters, Demons, Intercession Marines, Corsairs. My friend plays Necron, Tech Circle, and Mandrakes. Any recommendation for expanding our collection? We've got a pretty nice selection there. You got elites. Nobody's playing a horde there, I noticed. Demons. Oh, okay. Well, demons would have been a horde, to be fair. But yeah, I guess a logical next step is somebody should play a proper horde. Because obviously demons are gone now. Unless you're still playing them, which is fine too. But you've only played a few times and lost every time. What are you playing? Playing against Mandrakes and Hierotech Circle. So those are 2 strong teams, to be clear. And if your opponent is just naturally a bit of a better player than you, you're going to get stomped quite a bit, even if you go and play some elite teams. But I would probably say just try your hand at Nemesis Claw or Angels of Death, and you should at least put up a good fight because of Marine's natural skill and ability. You're still going to have to learn to play the game if your opponents are better than you, but those are 2 solid teams to play into Hierotech and Mandrakes. Lol did a video on how wording of Kill Team rules drives me mad. My most popular video, lol, but they drive me up. Yeah, it's crazy. If they use more words, it justifies extortionate cost. That's very true, SP3D. They've caught us. They've cucked us with that one. They got us. Trying to understand line of sight and some keyword stuff is miserable. Yeah. I'm glad that you missed the hot take I had where line of sight is good. Yeah. All you'd have to do, of course, is watch my simple 30-minute long line of sight guide. Problem solved. Although I will say just yesterday, I got a comment on YouTube, somebody telling me that one of my examples was wrong. And he had mistaken visibility for obscurity. So even though he watched the whole video, he still didn't understand that visibility swap, like from model to model, change from base to base. That's just, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I corrected him. I said, no, not quite. Maybe want to, watch it again, but it's crazy. It's difficult to teach people from an online resource where you can't actually actively interact with them. I know it will never happen again, but one can hope still, can't I? Hey, 3 years time, anything could happen. Try to understand. Blood and Zeal cards, yep, sure. I roll with this with reduced creativity and the rules operatives have. I hate how many 40k rules. Okay, I agree. But if you're going to have multiple instances of the same rule, like, you should probably just have a keyword, right? Do we need medic written out on 30 cards? And then, when we get an FAQ, they have to change the word medic 30 times. That doesn't make sense. Do we need comms written out 30 times? No. Stuff that needs explaining and more text isn't there. I second CT. Kill teams have very unique rules. I'm not saying we should remove unique rules. I'm not saying we should move to keywords only, to be clear. I'm just saying when keywords are appropriate, they should be used. And, you know, as I said earlier, whenever we get a new kill team announced and we don't see the rules, we just see the models, often we can look at those models and say, that's a medic, that's a comms, that's a plasma. We know what things are. The idea that kill team couldn't use a tidy up with some stuff is a bit crazy. Additionally, fine, don't do that. Don't go the keyword route, but still get those paragraphs, get those literature essays, get that AI slop. It's not AI slop, that was harsh, I apologize. Off of the data cards and get it into a different document. Anyway, so very quickly, the Blood and Zeal cards are like this. They're all the same. Well, here we go. There you go. They all do stuff. The blood cards are... Oh, how does this work? The blood cards do damage. The Zeal cards do like buffs and heals and stuff. Buff your stats, etc. And that's it. There's nothing more to it. There's like a little system for how you play them. You'll have to go and watch my unboxing. No, my unboxing or my actual review where I do cover them, to be clear. But basically, this is how they are. So you get your +3 damage shot, and then this is how it actually works, and that's all of them. You know, what am I even showing you? Sorry. Right, like +3 damage strike, +1 move, critical, take initiative, all this stuff. It's all very cool. I like it. It's a cool idea. Am I ever going to play it? No. But it's there. It's there. It's cool. I'd rather not. That's rich coming from you, Bruce. Okay, let me... Oh, Bruce. In tomorrow's video... Hey, guys, don't forget, tomorrow is April Fool's. You get a little bit of a spearing, Bruce. I'm gonna be honest with you. One of those was written a little bit with you in mind. Because we just played. My bad. My bad. Yeah. IMO, it's better to have it next to each operative. If you know the rule, you don't need to read it. But if you need to check specifics, they're easily accessible. Fair enough. That's why they're called hot takes. You don't have to agree. That's fair. Watching my War Machine vids, thanks. How's War Machine going? I don't play it. So a bit of an issue with... So even though I have them here... Look at this guy. Look at this lad. This is the Kane action figure I managed to get hold of off eBay. What a champion. Right next to the Archangel. No, so... I kind of had to make a decision where I decided that War Machine isn't the game for me. It's not the mechanics that I truly enjoy. Although I enjoyed every game of War Machine I did play, I just don't think it makes sense as a system. For me. I think they're doing a great job. I think that if you want that system, they do it the best, 100%. But it's not the system for me. And really, I just, for whatever reason, I just like the models and I like the lore and the fluff. Like I've read, well, definitely every book that's on Audible, and I've read a lot of them as well. And so, you know, then when it comes down to the reality of, do I actually want to put time and effort and energy into covering a second very small game on my channel that is about another smaller game, it came out that no, I don't. Although, as I just said, 2 hours ago, Camo, I had said that they're sending me the Gravediggers. It's not here yet, unfortunately, but I'm really hyped for those because it's a great intersection of my adult male masculine urge brain to be randomly into World War 1 and 2, but add fantasy. I think the Gravediggers look awesome. Can't wait to get my hands on those. And I intend to cover them in some way. I don't know how, though. They might just turn up as like MPOs or something, or I'm thinking of doing another co-op solo game, video, sorry, for Kill Team, where I am saying, I've got these cool models, and I'll have the Gravediggers. I want to make them work in Kill Team. Here's how to do it. But yeah. But no, it's a bit of a stretch to do a proper War Machine focused video, unfortunately. Yeah, I might do one, who knows, but yeah, it's a tough call for Glass Half Dead. We don't need keywords for ops special rules, we just need them for commonly used timings and common buffs and debuffs. Yes, sorry, I agree, yes, but additionally, I want this on every data card, right? Like, the core rule should start in bold, this, and then have everything else. I should be able to just read the first 5 words of every ability and know what it does in shorthand. If I then need to read the rest of the rule, that's fine, but to not, yeah, I think that's such a mistake. GW is terrified of keywords, special rules, pages outside of Horus Heresy. Yeah, so they used to have, so that was a big thing that they were criticized for in 40k. Up until they rewrote the rule sets for 8th edition, so up until 7th, there were so many keywords. And so when they revamped them, everybody praised them for it. If you go back and watch the reaction to 8th edition's launch, so much praise. It was like, oh yeah, they got rid of keywords, finally. And then they just still had keywords, but they didn't give you a keyword list. They still used the same ability on 100 different data cards. They just called it a different thing, you know, which they still do, right? Like, disgustingly resilient is only on like 1 data card. Everything else has a different name, but it does the same thing, you know. Oh, obviously have to jump here. Hutch Hogan, $20. What a mad lad. Appreciate you, Andy. Hail Hydratus Dominatus. You guys are keeping me hydrated. Damn, thank you so much. I've got a drink. A drink to you, sir. Evil Bear Skirm, she's going to bed. There you go. Alexander, yes, exactly. I want a short version and a long version for each rule. You know what it could be? All the data cards, one side can be the short version. The other side, flip it over, it's the long version. There you go. Done. And I can choose which side I read. By the way, my hot take is that obscuring is good. The ability to still shoot through it is great. That's a fair one. That's a fair one. So I said line of sight in general is good, but I'll take that. Yeah, I agree. I agree. They made a good change. Thanks. Thank you. Flot. Any plans to make an... My chat is randomly changing. Someone deleting something? I don't know. Okay. Any plans to make an average game against Raveners? I'm very hyped for the arrival of the team. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I will definitely do that. I'll have to do it at some point for Sanctifiers and Goremongers too, but whenever we get the 2 new teams, I'll do more. Oh, what do you think the next box will contain? Oh, after Typhon? I don't know. Don't know. Nobody knows. I like not knowing. I'm going to be honest. I think we need a new Marine team, if I'm honest. I think we need Marines. And we obviously have Plague Marines and Angels of Death in this first season. I think we need at least one Marine team every season so that we always have Marine teams in rotation. So, sure, Death Watch, there you go. Done. Yeah, the 6th edition special rules section was about 5. I do recall it being rather long. Oh yeah, how comes you never made a gotcha short about Hearthkin salvages? I forgot. Yeah. They were on my list, I just forgot to do it. Grey Knights versus Death Watch. Clear. It's clear. It's written in the rules. No, that would be a crazy box. I'd love the rule reasoning for that, but yeah. Okay, next hot take, everybody. Although we're not going for too much longer, but on to a positive. Movement tax is great and should be expanded. There you go. I think everything should be movement tax. Love it. Why would I ever measure something? Just tell me there's a tax and I'll do it. Right? So, if we're going over a wall, a small wall, it's 2 inches. Okay? I say, go a step further. Say any climb over 2 inches is 3 inches. There you go. Just let us climb anything for 3. It's fine. Works for me. Yeah, I just like movement tax in general. Cool. All right. It's not really yeah. The problem is I basically pay movement tax as a house rule. So whenever I move out of a, as you know, whenever I move out from around a corner, I basically just pay the movement tax. I don't actually measure it. Just speeds the game up, just faster. So I can't. So I'm a big fan of movement tax. Hot take: GK versus Space Wolves. I would like that. Hot take: they gave us Tyranids too early. Now we're reduced to demanding Marine variants. That is a hot take because we needed Tyranids. We needed them. You know. Marine variants. The thing is, I think that demanding Death Watch and GK is acceptable, you know? I think that's okay. Because they are different enough from other Marines. If somebody's out there saying, oh, we need Imperial Fits, like, oh, get lost, scrub. You know, that's just colour your Marines. You literally have them in your chapter tactics, right? But Death Watch? Grey Knights? Needed. Needed. I saw a batch rep that had Nemclaw proxies as Death Watch. Oh yeah, sure. That's cool. Plastic Eater, we have to move to demanding a Chaos Knight. Yeah, let's do that. A bum. Okay. A burn. Right. Well, you like to see a new kill zone. Tyranids. There you go. Xenos. I'll take any Xenos terrain. And whether it's a ruined Imperial city with the loss of Xenos having caused that ruin, so like Tyranid ruin, whatever, or Tau, or Necrons. I just like Xenos. I prefer Xenos. So only 4 years without a bespoke team. Too early. Too early. Deathwatch especially, it's absurd they aren't the starter box every edition. We do need Deathwatch here. Why wreck a melee loadout? Why? Because they're good in melee, I think. How acceptable is it that I want an Emperor's Children team? It is unacceptable. I shall give you the Emperor's Justice. Wraithbone Ruins, I'd be down for that, yeah. Oh, we could do Jungle, but I would prefer Eldar. Yeah. I'm a bit of an Eldar guy as well. So again, love me some Xenos. Opinion on the NC rule that favours playing against Imperial team. Hate it. So annoying. Really dislike it. Should not be in the game. Genuinely. Tau or Eldar terrain would be great. Yep, agreed. Love those colours. Do love Wraithbone. This is how I paint all my Marines. So, okay. What do we got next? Oh, okay. So all tournament players the same as homebrew, just with a different focus. There you go. So anytime you play a tournament game of Kill Team, to my mind, that's just homebrew. It's house ruling. There you go. to expand upon that a little bit, at some point in the game, you are going to have to make a ruling on a rule that is not clear. As soon as you make a rule, as soon as you make a ruling, you have made it a homebrew, house-ruled game. There you go. There is no defined document among all TOs for how certain rules that can very easily be misinterpreted should be interpreted. And so you are house ruling. It's a house rule. As soon as you make a ruling in a tournament, you are house ruling. And unfortunately, the Kill Team rule set, as any wargaming rule set, to clarify, because it's very hard to write rules, so there are inconsistencies and there are things that are not concrete. They are rather flexible. And unfortunately, some of them are on really common rules. Yeah. So it becomes a house rule. There you go. And I say this primarily to make tournament players perhaps lighten up a little bit. You know? Chill out. We're all just having fun. Your game's as made up as mine. You know? Just chill out, man. It's not that serious. CT, you are correct. It is phrased in a rather inflammatory way, but it is true. I don't know how else you would phrase it, to be clear. But yes. But obviously that is how I would lead in it. Oh, okay, Lucas. All right, thank you. I was like, what's happening? My chat was jumping around. Fighting in a breached craft world? Yeah, that'd be amazing. The real curveball terrain for the next season would be Vote. Ooh. What would that be? Fighting in an ancestor core? That'd be sick. I'd be into that. Unfortunately, GW hasn't blown me away with their Votan offerings and schemes. If I'm honest, I feel that yeah. Their artwork is super cool, but the models haven't transferred. I feel. ITD terrain, easy to store. It is. That's true. Pretty fun building the maps for ITD. Oh, I hate it. It takes me so long to build my ITD terrain. Because I got it before everybody, so I didn't know I had to sand everything down. I only found it out after I'd done everything, and I just couldn't be bothered to go back and do it. Largest model in game? Well, I don't think we can go larger than a Patriarch. I mean, it's a 50mm base, right? 60? No, it's a 50. And it's really tall and big. I genuinely think that is the biggest that we should get. If anything, it's too big, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Unfortunately, an easy one. Would you be down for a one model kill team? Yes. Easy answer. Renegade Marine team, not Chaos or Imperium aligned. That would be cool. Yeah, it'd be something they could explore. If they did that, though, they would just make it Dark Angels. There you go. And it'd be the Fallen. Oh, are they loyal? Are they not? Ooh, Hydra Dominatus. Ooh, yeah. That's kind of what they do there. One model boss kill teams could be cool, but difficult to balance. They would not be able to balance it, correct? Yes. Votan terrain, just vantage points. No other minis can fit on it. Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah. Nice. Rerolls suck. In this edition of Kill Team, they seem to have had a focus on rebuilding every team so that it has rerolls somewhere. And I think the best you can do is a reroll, and that ain't good. Rerolls aren't flavoursome. Rerolls are really boring. The frustration, of course, is that rerolls are almost always mathematically the best thing you can have. But they're really dull. I don't like them. There you go. One of the things I really like about Age of Sigmar, and it takes a little bit of while to get used to it, is that there are no rerolls. Basically, you once a turn you can reroll a charge. That's it. That's basically it in the entire game. And apart from that, you just roll your dice and you get what you get. And I actually quite value that. I like that. Yeah. So I would like fewer rerolls. I would like Kill Team to, if they're going to lean into that, lean more into give us accurate, not rerolls. I think for a design space, for a game that clearly wants to make itself so competitive focused, they should be leaning into, instead of, you know, oh, if you're within 6 inches and your enemy is within 6 inches of this blip, this marker, instead of you have ceaseless or you have relentless or you have balanced, it's just you get accurate 1. I think that is better, or accurate 2 or whatever. And if you really want to buff it, you get accurate 2, not relentless, sorry, accurate 2, severe, right? So there are still ways you can scale that, but I do think rerolls really bad. 710 hotness, I sort of agree, but rerolls are important for consistency. They're cool as long as they aren't the only interesting thing. I do agree. I just don't like rerolls as a core mechanic. I think it wastes everybody's time, and it's not actually fun. It's not fun, so just cut it out, brah. You know? Wouldn't the rattlings be able to fit anywhere? Ooh, snookered there, Brewster. Weekend Many's caught you out. Spicy take add-on. Rolling in general is painful as it has so much time. First rolls are great and exciting, but lots of... Yeah, so I'm not going to really comment on that regarding Kill Team. But 40k really suffers. I've said this a lot. Rolling in D&D is really fun. Because you roll 1 dice, right? And it's just intuitive what happens. And you're like, oh, a 20. Amazing. This is the best thing ever. You have immediate action and reaction. In 40k, you're rolling enough dice to get statistical averages. It's so damn boring. There is no natural occurrence of action and reaction. Rolling dice becomes a mathematical challenge and a chore, as opposed to a fun thing that occurs. I really don't like it. X-Wing, sorry, I just read the word. Kill Team sits between the two, obviously. Yeah. Don't know. Not that I'm saying that, you know, Kill Team should become a 1d20 game, although I'd love that. That's not the point, though. But it's like, I don't know. Moving on. I'm just saying that with multiple dice and constant rolling, you lose the impact of dice rolls, I think. Rerolls can feel good when they happen to you, but if your enemy that gets it, it's almost like your victory is being stolen from you. Also, yes, it's very simple and effective, so a bit boring. Yeah, I agree. Like, when I get to reroll all my dice because I have Relentless, that's very good for me. I'm enjoying it. But it's like, eh. But again, having played Age of Sigmar, once you learn to just accept that your dice are your dice, it's okay. It's like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Moving on. Oh, I missed. Okay, moving on. You get into that mindset remarkably quickly to just move on from a bad roll. Whereas in Kill Team or 40k, I think you dwell. Certainly in Kill Team, less so in 40k, I imagine. But in Kill Team, the game I know, I'm like, ooh, do I have any reroll auras active? Did I pick my reroll strat? Should I play a CP for a reroll? And so, yeah, I think it adds in a lot of deliberation. Whereas Age of Sigmar just says, no rerolls. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, moving on. So, yeah. Counter hot take, I cannot stand accurate and celebrated when crew trades accurates for balance, missing out on potential crits. So I do agree with that. I understand what you're saying. However, to me, that is actually the flip. That is the flip side of dropping... What am I saying? I understand what you mean. You are giving up the crit, but I still think accurate is better as a core concept for the game of Kill Team that it is. There you go. Your X-Wing bias is showing accurate is focused rerolls or target lock. I do like X-Wing, yes. Bring it back. Rattlings don't go anywhere without their augment. That is true. I do think that the sheer amount of fail mitigation in KT is a bit over the top. So many rules that let you retain dice or reroll your turn or turn fails into successes. Yeah, there are a lot out there. Or maybe I just play against those teams, but it feels like the dice are never the dice, right? The dice are never the dice. Gosh, that feels very true in Kill Team. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, and that's kind of annoying, you know? I do think, yep, Honking Jaegers need buffs. Vindicator Assassin trainee team with accurate forward. I'm into it. I'm into it. I like it. Which faction would you love to have in Kill Team? Grey Knights and Deathwatch. Oh, you know what? Another Necron team. A better Necron team. As in better models. Not better mechanically. I don't care about that. I feel like rolling in KT is very fun because it balances dice amounts very well. You don't roll so often that you hate it, and the rolls can very much vary. Yeah, fair enough. Old World has no rerolls, and sometimes you fluff and go, oh damn, but Old World is dumb, a narrative anyway. Yeah, I probably wouldn't focus too much on Old World as a competitive game. What? But that's exactly the thing, CT. That's why accurate works in Kill Team. If it's going to be the tight competitive game, you have to accept that accurate is what it wants you to have and take and use. That's one of the things I like about AOS as well, makes the game. Totally agree, Brian. Again, it takes a mindset shift, but once you're in there, it's like, oh yeah, fun. I get it. I feel the rerolls are kind of thematic. No. These are all elite squads that aren't going to miss that often, or be accurate is thematic. Rerolls are not thematic. If you want your teams to hit, you can have accurate. A reroll just takes time. Accurate is you didn't have to take time, you hit. Speaking of rerolls in a way, I was thinking of running the ammo cache for my legionaries. Are there any universal equipments that you wish to see played more? I don't think I've ever seen the ammo cache taken. That might not be true. I think I might have seen it once. But in a game that requires so much movement, ammo cache being something where you have to stand still just doesn't really vibe. What to say? Played more. I don't think I've ever seen ammo cache or the comms booster, to be honest with you. Okay, so that's fine, CT. I fully understand what you say and I agree. I'm just saying you're saying conflicting things. And that's okay. You're allowed to want conflicting things and say conflicting statements. Just pick a story. That's all. Okay. New narrative is better than old narrative. There you go. I prefer the new campaign style narrative system to the old campaign style narrative system of 2021. There you go. What do you think about that? So, I've explained this in a video recently. Again, I never remember where I actually say these things, by the way. But basically, again, with this whole idea of Kill Team being a tight competitive game, and that is just how it is, clearly in the rule set, we can't deny that. Having a narrative system where you just change rules and get better at things randomly, I just don't think it worked. Certainly my local game store, whenever I heard some of those players talking about what's happening in their game systems, it just seems like they're breaking the game. And I don't know if they're having fun doing it. They probably are, to be fair. But I was like, you're just playing a different game. Like, I can't get into it. And additionally, you would think that narrative means casual and, like, beginner friendly, therefore. There's so many more rules to learn. That's not fun. It's difficult. Whereas the new system is just, hey, here's an objective, here's a spawn point, and then here's a mission layout, and this is the story, and here's a special rule that's happening on the map. I was like, oh, cool. Suddenly, the game that I'm playing is transferable, and I'm learning when playing it, instead of learning a new rule set that doesn't really transfer. There you go. That's my take. That's my take. I like the new linked custom maps that they are making. Dice do be dice. KT, but I remove. Oh. That is, I don't know. Inquisition. I think they fucked it up. There you go. Mact Hangzoo. I love your videos, man. Always get a chuckle. Not played KT yet, but got a couple of armies. First live stream I've caught had on whilst playing. Democracy is not an option. Love to hear it. Thank you, Matt. Democracy is not an option. I have not heard of that. Is that one of these like Papers, Please style games? Yeah. I do hate that rerolls rob you of those amazing 1 in a million shots where a really rubbish weapon fells a much tougher opponent. Instead, your opponent just goes... That does happen. That does happen. You know, I do understand there is a level of... I don't know. Rerolls are such a polarizing thing. Such a polarizing thing. Because again, even though I've said they shouldn't be in the game, I get why they are. Like, I understand it. You know? Mr. Taco Eater 47, nice thumbnail. Thank you. I do consider myself a little bit of a thumbnail artist connoisseur. Anytime I can put me in dumb poses on the thumbnail, I do try to do that, as I think it's amusing. Yeah. 210 hotness. I've yet to meet a single person who ever played out narratives, so no one misses it. Interesting. You know, obviously, we all get different experiences. I just feel like Kill Team isn't the place for that. If you want a narrative game like that, play Necromunda. A game that's designed to be bonkers and unbalanced, you know? Yeah. But to each their own. I know that a lot of people do miss it. Narrative gaming is mostly gatekeeping. Well, you know, Major Tom, when it comes to me needing to rewrite how I phrase these hot takes so that they can be the most inflammatory, I will definitely be coming to you. That is no doubt a hot take, which I'm sure that once you explain sounds very normal, but that is a ridiculous way to phrase whatever it is you think, I have no doubt. So, nice. I should call everything rerolls are gatekeeping. I like it. It's a good word, gatekeeping. It's good. I've always wanted to play narrative, but I have one friend to play with, and we get to play one. Oh, yeah, sure. You see, that's exactly it. I feel like narrative campaign should be like, oh yeah, let's just start a campaign as we learn the game. So we're going through this series of 8-minute missions. It's like, oh, okay, so you want to learn extra rules? No thanks. No thanks. Also, that sniper mission was fun AF, as foretold. Yeah, exactly. That was a fun little narrative mission. Or series of 3 missions. Comms and a Balefire Acolyte would be interesting. 9-inch heal sounds pretty cool. Sure. Give it a go. Diplomacy is not an option. Oh, was he just saying he's American? Did I miss a joke? Oh dear. City Builder RTS. Okay, we got a bunch of rowdy dissidents trying to take over your castle. I have heard of this. I just haven't played it. Sure. As far as KT goes, I don't mind CP rerolls, but I don't think they should have data sheet rules for rerolls. I think that's fair. So yeah, I could be into that. Yeah, I'm okay with, hey, if you want to spend a CP to reroll a single dice, I'm totally okay with that being an option. I think that's okay. But when, you know, I mean, we've already seen how absolutely outrageous Marines with Relentless can be, right? So probably shouldn't exist, etc., etc. Love narrative stuff. Hope we get something like Crusade. I guess if we're going to get that, the closest we're going to get is whatever comes out for these Tyranids in the next box. But it's not going to be Crusade. I just can't see it happening. It seems to be they've moved away from that. Hot take, I feel like Kill Team would be a great tool for running a D&D-esque campaign where a DM controls NPOs. Yes. So ultimately, Kill Team, if you want to, can just be a combat system, and then you just add in a story around it using an RPG and character stats. You can use any wargame system as a combat system for D&D. And Kill Team's not a bad one. I think it'd be pretty good, actually. Be very thematic, which is one of the Kill Team rule set's benefits. Prefer the old invuln save system, though. From Kill Team 18? The last edition's invuln save was the same, right? Would work in Coop 2. Nice. The vast majority of damage gaming is done because people want to control who they are playing with, so they invite those they want to play with into narrative campaigns. Don't know if that's gatekeeping. I think that's just playing with your friends. But I guess that's a form of gatekeeping. So maybe. Sure. Just hit my wrist. Okay. Oh, what have I said here? Okay, I'm going to say it, but I don't know what I mean. Kill Team doesn't stand up to long-term theme. So basically, I just watched Travarian, one of the hobby guys. Travarian said the new Kill Team wasn't his thing, relating to the latest Adepticon reveals. And he said that AdMech were better than Tyranids. Clearly, I would have to rethink that. And when I make the slide, I'll think what I'm saying there. But basically, he thought AdMech were cooler than Tyranids. And his reason was that Tyranids were just 5 regular-looking dudes. They were all the same. And at least with the AdMech, you've got kind of different tiers of dudes. And what he doesn't like, what made him bounce off of Kill Team is that basically you're just playing a regular squad of dudes. For example, Kaskin is just 10 dudes on 28mm bases. Deathcore, 14 dudes on 25mm bases. So many things are just, here's 10 dudes. They're all the same. Some of them have different numbers attached to them. And what he wants is more like, for example, Hyrotech, where you get your 2 small dudes, you get your 5 regular dudes, 1 big dude. That's more his thing. But he also wants list building. Kill Team's just not his game, basically. But I kind of agree that that is something I like. I like that there are notably different things. For example, if I were to be into a Deathwatch team, I think this comes up later actually, but if I were to be into a Deathwatch team, I wouldn't want it to just be 5 intercessors. Oh yeah, this is something Travarian said. He said basically you're just playing a team of 40, a single team of 40k guys. If you want to play Space Marines, you are either 9 scouts and you're all scouts, or you are 6 intercessors and you are all intercessors. I was like, yeah, even though that's not actually true at the moment, but whatever. I would like the Deathwatch team to be, firstly, you can be your tactical Marines, except all kitted out with, with their full thing. So just tactical Marines, but you can swap in your Terminator. You can swap in your jump pad guy. I want the proper experience of a full figuring out everything in a Deathwatch team. But Kill Team can't do that because it doesn't have list building. So that sucks. But there you go. Oh well. AdMech looks like an MPO team. I agree. Christopher Mitchell, sorry I missed you there. I could see something similar to these narrative co-op Necrons possibly being adapted for other factions, like Demons, Necrons. Yeah, sure. AdMech looks like an MPO team. That is very true, it does. Which is a bit of a shame in the same box that has Tyranids. But yeah. Major Tom then will be in control of who you play with. Wow. Yeah. Inflammatory statements. Yeah, narrative should just be given... given a match, more lore reasons, and maybe string a few matches together following that narrative, not a D&D campaign. I don't think a D&D campaign is bad. It's just not Kill Team. The involved save from KT21, they got rid of them for KT21, very ignore piercing. Oh. Did they? I'm totally blank. It's not always ignore piercing X though. It is with your team, with Warp Coven, right? But Some are just ignore piercing, which is exactly what the last one was. It's just now they basically have limited invulns, right? How did the last edition even work? I don't even know. Alex Park. Hi Andy, how are you? In what situation rattling sneak is really helpful and useful? I don't play rattlings, don't know. When you don't want him to be where you were, I guess. And then, so you move him. Not quite sure what the question is. I think I played rattlings 3 times. And the first time I didn't have Ogrins. Or I had 1 Ogrin, sorry. And I didn't realise that you could take 3 ploys if you didn't take an Ogrin. No, rattlings aren't really my forte. And I certainly couldn't tell you when to use sneak over something else, unfortunately. I think the system of choosing between fewer stronger saves or keeping all 3 saves in it. Yes. You did have the option. How was that even worded? Sure. Okay. I had forgotten that was a thing. But yeah, if there was ever an option where you... Right, yeah. I'm with you. I'm up to date. My Phobos team has D-dubs, pauldrons. Nice. Have a nice stream. Thank you, Alex Park. Have a nice comment. Warhammer even has its own TTRPG to... That's true, they do. I feel Kill Team should... Guys, it's late. I'm going to wrap this stream up. I'm just going to quickly... Right. Kill Team is wide, not deep. You're not meant to be faction loyal, and that is bad. Marines are too strong at low level play. Yeah, hot take, Andy. Well done. Kill Team takes too long to play. As an example of this, when I went to the UKTC, Kill Team takes 2 hours to play. That's our round time, and we had people go to time. I want to be clear on that. Even top players were still playing their game at 2 hours in, and we had to tell them, guys, you got to hurry up. 40k, 3-hour rounds. That's not much of a difference. If Kill Team was half the time, if Kill Team was an hour and a half, fine, half the time. But only an hour? I think Kill Team's a really slow game, it turns out, guys. This idea that it's the fast skirmish game, yeah, maybe sometimes. But again, we had top players go to time. So it's not always a fast game, is it? And for just another hour, you get the spectacle of a 40k game and an army? It's pretty crazy. I think that speaks quite negatively to Kill Team's time. The game would be more fun, balanced around 5 Marines, not 6, and APL 3-4 instead of APL 2-3. I think APL 3 is really fun. Yep, I just think APL 3 models are infinitely more fun than APL 2 models. Ignore the stats. I just think APL 3 is more fun. There you go. Should plasmas be buffed again? No, I don't think we need it. They seem fine. And then my coldest takes. I've got 2 cold takes. Deathwatch should be the official Marine kill team, and it should be a proper Deathwatch kill team with different armors and different loadouts for all of them. I already said that. Also, the rule set works with dense terrain, and after having looked at fantasy boards, that's good. So many fantasy boards look so boring. Open fields with 1 hedgerow just isn't fun. Keep up a rule set that makes dense urban environments work, which Kill Team does. The only other boards I've seen look really, really cool for fantasy is more time boards. Everything else is a bit sparse, a bit meh. So yeah, there you go. That's real. I think that's a real downer for fantasy in general. They really need to up their game and have rule systems that work with dense boards. Yeah, there you go. Whew. Okay, guys, it's super late, so I'm just going to wrap this one up because I took way too long here. Hey, if you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Whew. Okay, guys, well, hopefully this stream hasn't been too low energy for you. What with the... Where's my... Oh, God. What with the piano jazz and the sit down and the slight, I don't know how this microphone sounds compared to the one I normally use, but we've had a last second disruption to the play. It's Dogman coming in with a box of 6 eggs. Love the channel, good chat. Thank you so much, Dogman. You are too generous, so I will go on and boil 6 eggs just for you. Goodbye, smooth jazz champions out there. Maybe next week I will be attempting a battle report stream. Don't know. I promise nothing. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hydratus Dominatus. Bye.